Welcome to issue number 2 of Superhero Origins as part of our Superhero Shenanigans story that is launching in 2025. Today's story takes place just a little before our present day that we'll be launching in the story and focuses on some of the more magical elements of the setting to get them in place. But to get us all started, I will introduce myself, your GM for today. I am Claude, aka CurlyInsaneGuy_. I am on social medias such as Blue Sky and Threads and Instagram, all under that name. And today we have 4 wonderful players who will introduce themselves now, starting with Shannon. Tell us a little about yourself, where they can find you, and just the briefest bit about your character, because it'll be fun to learn that as we go.
You got it. So I am Shannon. I'm Imagine If pretty much all over the place. And then you can also find me. I have a Twitch and a YouTube channel, Imagine If Media, where we support those who create, play, and heal. So if you want to be on the creator spotlight, come on over there and hang out. I am playing Raven tonight. And as we go, Raven is a mystic artificer who has a kind of a background in treasure hunting, and she's a little bit quirky. She's in her early 20s and is always looking for adventure. Yeah, I guess we'll start it at that so we don't leave too much out. Give too much away? I don't know.
All right, and then we will hop on over to... Oops, sorry. And then we'll hop on over to Grant.
Hey, I'm Grant. I'm at Meredith on most of the socials out there. Huge nerd, geek, talk about anything if you want to chat with it. I'm playing Revenant, who is a shadow controller who is really scary at first, but then he opens his mouth. Becomes really sarcastic and goofy. There we go.
All right, and then we have Jackie, who is not playing the character he'll be bringing into Superhero Shenanigans, but yeah, we'll let him talk a little bit about that.
That's
Go
okay.
ahead, Jackie.
That's okay. Yes, I'm Jackie. You can't really find me anyplace except for here tonight and on future episodes of Superhero Shenanigans. Tonight, I'm not playing the character I will be playing because he's not here yet, but I will be playing a character called Hellhound with lots of amazing powers that you have to wait and see as they're being revealed.
And last but certainly not least, our guest player for today has... Go ahead and give yourself a little intro.
Oh yeah, jazz hands.
Hands, actually.
Taz hands. Yeah, there we go.
I love that. I'm Taz. You can find me on all socials at Reader and Rogue. I'm an actual play performer, writer, storyteller, blah, blah, blah. Tonight, I am playing MI, a young psychic who trained herself by diving into the deep, dark magic web. So...
Very excited to have you on. You just had a really awesome panel at PAX Unplugged, didn't you? I'm gonna force you to just promote yourself a little more.
It was my first panel. I was a little nervous, but me and some incredible creators talked about sad storytelling and safety tools in games. That I can link that somewhere for anyone who wants to see it. It was a very cool and slightly intimidating experience.
It was really great.
Taz did amazing.
Thank you. I was like shaking for half of it, but it's okay.
And that is our cast for tonight. There has been some things going on in the world of Earth Prime, where we are set, and we're going to dive straight into that pretty much as we go to Emerald City, the city of destiny. Nearly a city of heroes, but for some reason that didn't quite pan out all the way, and there's not that many heroes here aside from our cast. So a meeting is meant to take place today. Raven, tell us a little about that meeting. Actually, or what you're doing to prepare for the meeting.
Yeah. So, well, do you want to give a little bit of background? I don't know
Yeah,
what
I'll
I'm
give a
supposed to say when I'm
little
not.
more
So yeah,
backbone.
if you could, yeah.
Gotcha. So, Raven was contacted by Sala, the former partner of Earth's Master Mage. A little bit of background there. Master Mage is exactly what you think it is. It's the not Sorcerer Supreme. Very, very close to the same sort of concept. The position is actually vacant at the moment after the passing of the former Master Mage. And now his partner tends to team up with other heroes who once knew the Master Mage. And to that end, he has contacted Raven for a little help with some trouble they've been dealing with in Freedom City. So he's made the trip across the country to get her assistance. The plan that he is just updating you on as he's on the way, essentially. But there's a little coffee shop with a back room that, it's very private. It's like a bookshop, coffee shop combo. And he really wanted something that didn't have a ton of computers at it. This is a very old school coffee shop. Not an internet cafe for sure. And that's where he would like to be. He's rented the little private room. And yeah, what is your plan of doing there? And you can actually tell me what kind of relationship you've had with Sala up till now.
Sure. So yeah, so I guess I've had a little bit of a relationship with Sala because I had a very close relationship with Adrian, who is the master mage that passed away. So I'm kind of processing that a little bit, and kind of been in touch with Sala here and there. And I kind of suspect that Sala is also giving me this to give me something to do, because I have been diving into doing a lot more. So my most fun thing to do, I guess, when I'm not hanging out with friends, is to just kind of dive in and search for ancient artifacts, and magical ones at that. And so I'm usually getting myself into some trouble doing that, and dragging Revenant along for the fun in that as well. And so yeah, so I kind of am suspecting that Sala gave me this to give me something to do. And so I basically prepped by having Gloria, who is our house assistant slash driver slash doer of all the amazing things. I had Gloria start pulling up information on what has gone missing. And so on the way over, we've been in the car kind of perusing that last minute, while we're also eating some drive-through that we probably picked up along the way because we're running last minute. So yeah.
Fantastic. As a quick bit of character info, what is Raven's go-to fast food of choice?
Sweet potato tacos, spicy potato tacos, I'm sorry, at Taco Bell. Yeah,
Oh,
for
gotcha,
sure.
gotcha. And you had mentioned Revenant, which is a fantastic segue for me. Revenant,
Yep.
are you along for the ride? Have you been looped in? I guess that's for the two of you to decide together.
Oh yeah, she definitely woke me up and drug me along with her. She knew I didn't have anything going on today, so
Makes sense. And are you all heroed out in the car? And what does that look like if you are?
no, I am not currently, just
Makes
because
sense.
yeah, I can just do it at will. So I'm just kind of decent looking hair, black t-shirt, jeans, combat boots.
And I
Yeah.
did forget to ask Raven's look.
Yeah, no, and Raven is decked out because she was already decked out and too lazy to change, basically. And so Raven had a lot of black and red, mostly black with kind of like red trim on the outfit, and then a gold amulet on her arm as well. But most of it is black, kind of goth vibes going on, and she's got a black leather jacket that she's wearing. Actually, scratch that. We're gonna make it a hoodie. She's wearing a hoodie. Yeah.
Nice. And yeah, the drive is going well. There's you're having your tacos. I forgot, Revenant, what's your order?
Oh, I have 3 Mexican pizzas and their little cinnamon twists.
And the drive is a pretty short one. It's definitely not going to take too long to get there. It's kind of in the heart of downtown, not too far from where Raven calls home. And you drive up. Gloria just kind of nods for you to go. She has other things to take care of tonight or today. It's late afternoon, starting to get dark. This time of year in the Pacific Northwest, 4 o'clock is getting dark. So yeah, it's around then. The coffee shop looks not busy, but they've got their normal patrons sitting inside. You can see from the car, and yeah. Meanwhile, in the back room, already waiting, we have Jean-Michel. What do you look like today as you're waiting in the room? Sala is there with you. I will give you a quick description of Sala. He's kind of a average height, shaved head, man of Asian descent. He's got one arm that's a little bandaged up right now. It looks like he was recently in a fight of some sort. And he would have informed you on the trip that like he got in an altercation with this group that had stolen from your boss. But yeah, what's Jean-Michel look like right now?
Well, when you take a look at Jean-Michel, it's clear that he represents his profession very well. He's clean cut, dark hair, kind of this European looking, more tan skin than not, more on the taller side, wearing a really well cut, well fitted suit. And he's sitting there, leaning back, kind of looking like he doesn't want to be there and waiting impatiently for what's next.
How chatty during this journey has he been with Sala?
I would say he's been cordial,
Okay.
but Jean-Michel is feeling very bothered with this and like it's a waste of his time and his talent.
Understandably so. As you go in, Raven and Revenant, you are shown to the back immediately if you ask. It's the only private room they have in there. It's a very small little shop, and they'll say, "Oh yeah, your friends are waiting in there." They ask if you want anything to drink. They can bring them to the room, and they said if you want, they'll knock first before entering. Mid meeting or something. Yeah, it's very friendly staff. Looks like family owned.
What's the name of it? Because I think this sounds like a place that Raven probably shows up to a lot and orders a chai latte.
This place is called Smoke and Mirrors Coffee.
Oh, for sure. Definitely. Yeah, so I'm just going to roll in and I only ordered food at that Taco Bell. So I'm just going to roll in, and I'd love it if I could just kind of like roll by the counter and just pick up the chai that we've already ordered ahead of time. Yeah, and then just kind of roll on in the room. Now, did you say that there's just 2 people in this room right now at this point?
Yep, that's the idea.
Okay, cool.
But you were told there were supposed to be 2 people meeting you. That Sala was bringing someone from Freedom City as well.
Cool. Do I get a vibe that Jackie, that your character is annoyed? Like, is this like outwardly?
I am outwardly annoyed, but when I do see you come in, I sit up a little bit and I put on this smile that you kind of read as this. I'm very confident in what I do, and I don't mind showing that I'm going to be very arrogant about it.
Raven, nice to meet you.
I look at your hand, and then I smile and say, Raven, I've heard a lot about you.
It's not all true.
Oh, I'm
I don't
sure
care
it
what he
is.
says.
You're being so modest.
Sala shrugs and he's like, I spoke very highly of you, Raven. Don't worry about it. He does give you like a knowing look because prior to the meeting he did like let you know that he doesn't fully trust the person he's bringing with him. This is like
Okay.
a matter of convenience to have a little extra muscle along was the way he worded it. And,
Cool.
just
I think
Raven-
probably Revenant and I had a conversation about that ahead of time. In case we need to have some like little shadowy disappearances happen, you know, to keep an eye on things.
Yeah,
Oh
I'll
my.
walk in and just kind of be like, Travis. Won't offer my hand, just kind of do the 2-finger salute.
Sala notices that you don't extend a hand, so he just nods and says, Sala, pleased to meet you. Raven, I didn't know we were having anyone else along.
He doesn't
Oh,
trust
my
me to be
bad.
alone.
It's true. He eats all the good food while I'm gone.
It's fine. If you vouch for him, I trust him.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But let's go ahead and get started on this business. There's chairs around. You can pull them up. You can share a table or whatever. I'm gonna stand. And he kind of winces as he moves his shoulder. You can see he's wrapped up right now. And he's like, "Yeah, let's get started." He closes the door. Takes a few steps towards the center of the room to make sure everyone's kind of got eyes on him. And then I would say that someone else could arrive at this point.
Yeah. Okay. So MI walks in. They swing open the door. They don't really care about who's in front of them or behind them. They don't hold the door open for anyone. They kind of look around and gather that a meeting is happening, but at this point, they're just going to stand in line for their black coffee, no sugar, no cream. And they're going to grab that and go sit at a table nearby. And at this point, just kind of listen in. And just for vibes, they are dressed in all black, nothing special, basics. It looks like they're just trying to blend in and not be noticed.
And as he goes to walk into the center of the room to talk, he closes the guest room door, but you're at the table closest to it. So if you try at all, you can pretty much overhear what's going on in there. So he starts in. We're not entirely sure what the plan is for these thieves, but they are gathering a rather concerning bunch of materials. Most of it information. There's a book, well traveled, said to be from ancient Atlantis, actually, all about apotheosis, which is always alarming when anyone seeks to reach for godhood. Someone always gets hurt in the process. So the better we can avoid that, the safer we'll be. Um, the other thing that was a little surprising was Alan Lovelace's journal. Not a name I was super familiar with, but that's what was stolen from Mr. John Michael here, lawyer, Lucius Cabot. He says that with kind of like a certain tone that you would pick up on, Raven. Um, could you roll me an expertise magic?
Sure, I get to roll for the first time ever.
Woohoo!
Like officially on stream, I guess. Let's see. If I had a light, that'd be great. All right. And you said magic.
Yeah, expertise magic. And that is a d20 plus that score.
Sorry.
Oh, no worries.
25.
A 25. Nice. Lucius Cabot is whispered of in the magical community as someone who is believed to have made a sort of deal with the devil. You, with that kind of role, know that he's been around a lot longer than any mortal probably should have. We're talking he was around and has used different names and things since basically the time of the Salem witch trial. And while he doesn't outwardly ever use magic or anything, it seems he has somehow secured a form of eternal, not youth, because he's a rather aged man, but he seems to have stopped at a certain point.
I would think that I would be pretty familiar with him just because of the mystic background, because I come from basically a family of witches. And then, so a little lore here too. So, and then my dad's side of the family are descendants of Persephone. So I'm pretty interested in like just all that kind of ritualistic type stuff and everything else. So I would think I would have at least an awareness of who this person is if they've been around for a long time.
Gotcha. Yeah, so you know that, and actually, Revenant, or Travis, you're not Revenanted out yet. Could you roll me a quick insight check?
Sure.
Amulet is fuzzy up.
Oh
I'm
no.
apparently not paying attention at all because I rolled a 2.
You're thinking about your food.
So that's an 8 total.
Gotcha. Okay. Noted. Noted. Don't worry about it. Don't even worry about it, my guy. Could I get a perception roll from MA just so you're able to like fully pick up on everything that they're saying? Only because there's a door here.
What do I add for perception?
So you will do
I don't
D20 plus your perception.
Oh, I see it down here. My bad.
skill.
That's a 22.
22. Yeah. He's not speaking in a hushed tone exactly, but like in a I'm not really worried about if anyone's listening to me kind of tone. It's first of all, it's a weird city, but also there's just kind of a vibe in Earth Prime in general, despite the fact that there are superheroes and all these amazing things that people have seen. At one point in Freedom City, there was literally like an army of skeletons led by Hades. But for whatever reason, most of the public doesn't believe in magic itself. They attribute it to other types of superpowers they're doing. So it seems like he's not worried about being overheard. He's like, they'll shrug it off, or they'll think we're just talking about literally anything random in fiction. So yeah, you're able to hear that, he's concerned that some group, and you can tell the way he says it, he's frustrated that he doesn't know more about this group. But he continues on. The reason that I decided to come to Emerald City to look into this instead of having you travel to me is I suspect that one of the next places that they would attack is the Emerald City History Museum. Because there is an item that belonged to that same Alan Lovelace. And at that name again, Revenant, could you roll an insight check?
Sure. Let's hope this one goes better. Okay, that one went much better. I rolled a natural 20.
Oh,
So
yeah,
26 total.
that is much better. So at the name Alan Lovelace, it doesn't happen much to where it actually ruins conversation or anything, but the whispers that you hear from the shadows that you get your powers from, they kind of get a little louder suddenly.
Oh.
It's unusual because it's usually not like a clear communication to you, but right at the mention of the name, there's just kind of like a roar of the whispers.
Okay.
And the way this works is it's in your head, so the sound feels like it's around you for a second, and like for a little bit you kind of tune out Sala even.
Okay. Once that happens, I'll definitely like tune back into the conversation.
That's what I suspect anyway. I say we. I've been in contact with other members of the Magic community, but I want to keep this one pretty close to the vest because, well, I trust you, Raven, and John Michael. You have a vested interest in getting the journal back. So everyone in this room with me, I'm not concerned about, but any given Magic user could choose to attempt to pursue apotheosis.
When he says you have a vested interest in getting the journal back, I just kind of note that about our new friend over here. But I'm not going to say anything, but I'm just tracking it.
As this is an item at the museum of some magical significance and historical significance, Raven, you seemed like the right person to go to about this. I don't know if you have connections at the museum or any sort of worries about breaking into the museum to take it if that's what it takes to prevent it from being stolen.
Yeah, I think Stanley over there could probably help us out. He works back in the archaeology department, and I kind of visit him every once in a while to get a little bit of information. And Revenant and I have been talking about, just trying to see if we could break in just for the fun of it. So,
Funsies.
if we have to go that route, I think we're okay.
Gotcha. I will say for the creation of the NPC, I will charge you your one shiny hero point that you started the session with, a sort of a scene adjustment. I did forget to tell everyone that you get a hero point to start the session. Everyone gets one, and then you gain the others through your complications. And there's a handy little chart that I hoped I added to the chat, but I will make sure that you know what you can do with those hero points.
Okay, so Stanley was my hero point. Is that what you were saying?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And I kind of envision Stanley as being like 75 years old. Like he just won't quit working. He absolutely loves the museum. He was like this treasure hunter, and now he just kind of like hangs out, and they're not even sure if they're still paying him. He's just kind of there all the time and doing all the things. And yeah.
Well, thank you so much for adding Stanley to the lore. Now I have a new NPC. So
There you go.
much appreciated. Yeah, so go ahead. You're about to.
I think noticing that the group is kind of quieting down on the information side and are just throwing out names of people who MI doesn't really think matter. They're going to stand up, grab the top of their chair and their coffee, drag the chair over, glance around, notice the surveillance camera in the corner, and make sure that they are facing in the opposite direction. Sit in the chair with their legs like around the top part of it, slam their coffee down, splashes a little bit. I might have some information that could help you.
And who are you? I say smugly.
You can call me MI.
And you can call me Jean-Michel. Get on with it.
What do you know about hex hackers?
Sulla's brow furrows. Raven, you can actually give me expertise magic. I'm going to actually roll this for Sulla as well because this is fairly niche information, even for people in the set.
Oh, I rolled really well. I'd have to get a light over here though because I can't see it.
Sulla did not, so this is all you.
Yeah, 32.
Oh my
right?
goodness!
Did I have that right? 31. Sorry, I can't math.
I mean, you're in the right ballpark. Like you weren't in the wrong first digit at least. So there's that.
Yeah. 31.
Hex hackers you've heard rumors of as people who were kind of like shortcutting the normal magical rituals and things with digital knowledge. Like they're kind of a lot of magic in this setting is derived from beings from outside of this reality, essentially. Like it's you're not directly calling on them, but you kind of invoke them to do things, and they're doing that as well, but they're going through like a filter of data to do so. It's unusual. There's not a lot of like history about them. It seems like a very new movement. But I mean, with that kind of score, you've at least heard of them, and yeah, you would know that they do exist. They're not just a rumor, but you haven't really had any interactions with them yourself.
So just so I'm understanding, are they like kind of are they using technology to excuse me enhance, or are they trying to like cheat the system, so to speak? And
A little of both. It's like it's a different route to it than people have had access to in the past, which could be a good or bad thing. It's just a new way of accessing a power that didn't happen before because it was usually through lots of study or, there's also some kind of like internal component of magic people that like they're able to do it because not everyone can just pick up a spell book and do it. There's some kind of like innate spark, and it seems like these people are like skipping the spark. So people who probably wouldn't be able to use magic before are able to use.
okay, I would say then I'm probably like a little bit leery of this group in general, coming from a history of where people are really respectful of the magic. They're probably on my radar at least. Like so now I'm even more interested in this situation. So yeah, so I'll respond. I've heard a little bit about them. What do you know?
I'm going to lower my voice a bit, make it a little bit more hushed, probably than it has to be, but I don't want anyone to hear what I have to say. So, the Hex hackers, uh, they are responsible for conducting these cyber attacks, and they work for a group that you probably haven't heard of. They're serving someone called Deus Ex Data, and they are probably the person involved in this theft that you're also worried about.
What was the name?
Deus Ex Data.
Deus Ex Data.
Sala still looks a bit off-put by this sudden intrusion, and pardon, but how are you even aware of this meeting?
I saw it on the web. You guys need to tighten up your security.
I glare at Sala because my security is pristine.
Yeah, it's been largely through Sala's side of things that these connections have been formed. He's just not up with the times on some of this stuff. It's difficult to keep up with technology and like study the mystic arts. Got to cut him some
Yeah.
slack.
Now, if you're
So,
thinking that you might need to break into the Natural History Museum, and I do glance around me as I say that just to make sure I'm as quiet as I think I am, you're going to need someone who knows how to get in and out of security systems pretty easily. And I think I can help you with that.
and why do you want to? And as I'm asking this and having this conversation too, as soon as we started communicating, I hit call on my emergency call button to Gloria, and my Bluetooth has been active this entire time. She's running maybe voice recognition or something like that. If we could do some kind of fun little whatever in the back. I don't know if I could do this or not, but
I will have you. That's a lot of things to secretly have
it's a lot
done.
of things.
That's a lot of things. So I'll
It's a
get
lot
you
of
to do
things.
a sleight of hand for the phone bit for the to
Sleight of
doing a
hand.
phone
Okay.
call. Yeah,
I'm gonna try a
and
different dice.
And MA, could I get a perception again?
Perception is a 28.
Wow.
Damn it! 24.
24. So, as you're about to start your questions, MA, you would catch that like slight movement of the hand to just tap, or I don't know if you're doing it from like a watch or something that you're doing the call, or however you do it, but as
Yeah,
you
it's
make just the
it's my
slightest
smartwatch.
motion, it's very like super subtle. But MA, I mean, you've been very careful up until now, and you're not going to slip
No,
up.
and I'm still being careful. I'm gonna look at Raven in the eyes and say, I appreciate that you're recording me. I would do the same thing.
I'll just go, ooh,
My
caught.
my respect has gone up. Yeah, in this moment for sure. Maybe we should take this inside where the rest of the cafe isn't gonna hear, and I'm gonna guide into the room and still on high alert, but I am now intrigued and impressed at the same time. So
Nice. Yeah, so they go into the room. Sala introduces himself pointlessly as you, even by how he talks, you're like, oh, this is definitely the guy that's been sending these emails. Yeah, he's like, I'm Sala. He really seems like on the back foot here because he's like, well, I'm talking about magic. People aren't supposed to really know about this. So he's you can tell now he's got his guard up pretty high, but this is something he's concerned about, and you seem knowledgeable, so he's gonna roll with it.
Maya, you might want to give him a card because it seems like he needs some help. You might want to conduct a little interview later, and I don't know, tighten up that security a little bit.
Yeah, I've read all of your emails, so there's nothing you can tell me that I don't already know.
I
Well-
laughed just as Grant just did, kind of this. And I stand up and I'm straightening the cuff within my my suit sleeves, and I walk over to her. And as I'm walking, I say, "Oh, such dissent between this team so early." I walk over to her and I say, "If she can help us, we should let her." And I lean from
I
behind
forgot to mention,
her.
Ime's pronouns are they them.
Yep. Oh, sorry.
Actually,
I
my
meant to use
pronouns
they.
are any. You.
Oh,
she,
that's
her,
right. That's
they,
right.
them, that's fine.
Whatever works.
Okay.
Okay.
Because
Nope,
I'm
thank you,
not
appreciate
going to divulge enough information about myself for you to even know. So is fine.
Gotcha.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm confusing.
Oh, no worries.
what I see
I
with
forgot what was on the
what the
sheet too.
character
That's my bad.
So I lean from behind her as I walked behind her, and I lean over next to her cheek and say, "Let's let her help us, as long as she can help us." And I lean back and I walk back to my seat and sit down.
Now you, I don't know much about, and I find that interesting.
As it should be.
But so did
Raven,
you do
your
something
question
to her?
earlier, why do I want to help?
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just wondering if anything was done during that little exchange. Like, did you do some kind of like plant a bug, but do a magic thing, like, or was that just drama?
Oh, you're talking to Jean-Michel?
Yes.
Or you're asking about Jean-Michel?
Yes.
Let's call it posturing.
Okay.
And trying to learn a little bit more about this person who uninvitedly invited herself to the conversation.
Yeah. Cool. I'm sorry. Okay, so go ahead, Am I?
To answer your question, why do I want to help? Because I've heard about you, and I like what you're doing around here, and I want to play my part. I want to be a hero.
A hero?
Yes.
A path to pursue, I'm sure.
I've been trying.
So what do you do?
I'm going to look at that Bluetooth that you were messing around with earlier, and I'm gonna just shut it off. I'm not gonna move my hands or anything. I'm just gonna look you in the eye, look at it, shut it off, and look back at you.
Cool. I'm gonna look at Revenant. All right, let's see what you got.
I'm just being babysat here. I don't have anything here.
Oh no. Not yet. Not yet. Sala looks at his watch. It's a very plain. He's not a very flashy guy. He looks down at it. Museum probably closing. I don't know the hours perfectly. Also, I'm just a little bit jet lagged coming from Freedom. But yeah, the museum will be closing in an hour or so. I don't know how quickly they're planning on acting on this. Again, I'm just going off a hunch because I have no real way of figuring out what their next move is or when. Perhaps if you've been keeping track of my comings and goings as far as the internet goes, do you think you could figure out when they're going to act?
I can give it a shot. I'm going to, from my back pocket, I'm going to pull out what just looks like a normal cell phone, kind of thicker, but I'm going to fold it out, and it ends up being like a pretty full-size tablet. And I start typing like really quickly to get back to the area of the web where I initially found this information and see what I can find.
Yeah, do me a quick technology check.
That's my specialty.
Then I'll have you follow up with an investigation one.
12 plus 16. 12 plus 16. Sorry. Slow to math
28.
today. 28. It's been a long day. Sorry.
For me.
No
Wow.
worries.
So these people cover their tracks as they go, which is just precious because you can see them covering their tracks. Like you see how it's covered. So it doesn't take you long to really dig into where they've been, what they've been talking about. And this seems like a fairly unlocalized organization. So they all are taking orders from someone that you haven't really been able to interface with at all. It's a lot of people talking about what they've been told to do. And you do get mentions of a museum. They're all using they're trying to use code and innuendo to hide things. But with a little digging, you're able to learn that, yeah, they are working quick. They've got 2 things they're trying to accomplish tonight. Could I get you to roll an investigation as well?
That's going to be a 16.
16. So, in addition to what they are planning to do, you found that they have successfully done another theft or robbery that Sala hadn't mentioned because it seems to have nothing to do with magic. But there was like this industrial grade fabricator, essentially like a souped up 3D printer that they stole. But that they are planning on hitting not the Natural History Museum, that's a different one, the Emerald City Historical Museum.
They're
Basically,
planning on hitting the historical museum tonight?
Yep. And there are mentions of another thing, but they're actually pretty cagey on that one. With your investigation, you don't get a name of another thing. But yeah, you find out that they have successfully stolen that fabricator.
So I'm just going to go over here, click this, bum, 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 bum. Yeah, so in addition to the book, it seems they also have their hands on a industrial grade fabricator. I'm not sure what they're planning, but it seems to be something pretty big. And they are going to the Emerald City Historical Museum tonight. How quickly can you
Sounds
all
like-
pull yourselves together?
Sounds like we should head over and talk to Stanley right now.
I agree. Let's go.
I'd love to come on board.
You're coming
you
along
already
with
were.
us.
That's what we do. We just kind of collect new people. So
Ala kind of straightens like he's ready to go too, and then winces again with the arm, and
maybe it's better if you stay.
nods. You can see it's like he hates not going along, but he's like, I wouldn't want to slow you down, and I can be on call if you need anything.
What can
I'll
you
head
do
I'll
from
head
here?
back to your home. From here,
Well,
fortunately,
from the lair, essentially.
unfortunately, my prowess does not lie in the flashy magic like Adrian did, so I can't really provide any substantial arcane support. But if you reach out, have any questions, I can kind of set up in your library and reference for you at the very least. I can go back and look into that book on apotheosis and see what other things they sold, just to get an idea of what they might be planning. I don't understand the fabricator's part in all of this.
I've already had Gloria pull. I've got a whole section on Lucius Cabot. I've already had her pull everything we've got. You can feel free to look through that.
Can't imagine it's much. He's very
It's not. It's not.
any amount though is a is a pretty good find. Yeah, I'll head that way, and let me know how things go at the museum.
Sounds good. Good to see you.
Good seeing you as well. I was hoping the next time would be under better circumstances.
Yeah, we really need to stop meeting like this.
Definitely.
So, little
nice to meet
above
you,
table fun
May.
fact too. The master mage that died, his name is Adrian too, right?
Yep.
Which is also my dad's name. Who, for I'll just release a little lore on that too. So, Raven's dad basically blew up in front of her in a targeted attack in the family vault, and that happened probably a couple of years ago. So,
And in the,
so we
I
got
like to
we got
frame
some
things. I like to frame things like in comic books. So this would be one of those things where
Yeah,
in the character's mind, they're definitely expositing more than anyone has time to think during that. But you're like, Adrian, like my father, blah blah. You know, the whole deal where you get like a little mirror, or like not mirror, window, the thing where you don't see yourself, a little mirror into the past of the character. Yeah, they often thought it was really funny that their names were both Adrian, and it would.
yeah,
Yeah, there was a lot of laughs at the table whenever your mother would come in and be like, Adrian, dear, and either one of them would be like, yes, honey.
yeah.
And you know, Sala would be there rolling his eyes at Adrian, at his Adrian, not yours.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, there were. Yeah, see, this was the problem.
This is it. Yeah, you nailed it.
Yeah,
Nailed
but
it.
it was yeah, it was a really good friendship.
Yeah.
And yeah, he has like a slight look of pride that you're like taking over what he's doing right now. You're like, yeah, I'll take everyone to the museum. We'll get this going. He's comforted knowing that someone like you is taking the reins on this. It's good to see that you're putting the good forward that you've been trained up in.
Yeah, and Raven
He exits.
doesn't feel any of that. Like she just feels basically like what are you giving this to me for? Like I've only been doing this for 5 seconds kind of thing. But she doesn't show that though. She's very, whatever, kind of chill on the outside. But I'm just gonna kind of lean over to Amai and point at my watch. Can we get this? Can we get this one back on?
I do look at it and turn it back on.
Appreciate that. Come on, we got snacks in the car.
I think I
And
still
yes,
have a Mexican pizza too, if you want that. I didn't
car
get
has come back around because whenever you got it. Well, Gloria was trying to contact you, just she when you're doing anything super like potentially shady, she'll randomly like ping you, and she didn't get anything back, so she went ahead and circled around and get you. She's like a hawk. And yeah, as you know, this is not her first rodeo. She was once very involved in the superhero scene herself. So she swings around with the car. And as she drives up, you see her give a look to the fact that there seems to be like there's going to be 2 more passengers.
But nothing unusual. I'm sure, she's very much used to that. And we just press a little button on the side and it like gets a little chunkier back seat,
Some stuff shifts around. It's not like a supercar, but it's got some slight enhancements.
Yeah.
So yeah, it gets just a teensy bit roomier. Yeah, you see a nice. It's not luxurious, but it's like a high end, very safe, large vehicle that you can pile into.
Yeah,
It definitely
bulletproof
seems.
glass, all that kind of stuff. And we've got the seats facing each other so that when we're in a situation like this where we don't necessarily trust everybody that's in the car with us yet, we're looking at each other instead of, behind each other.
What's not to trust?
Yeah.
And you would both the new to the car people would both get the immediate impression that like, oh, Raven's from money. Like this is like okay. Yeah. How you each feel about that varies, I'm sure.
As I step into the car, I look around, impressed, and I make that sort of okay. And I
meanwhile, I
and
in my
sit.
head say annoying and roll my eyes.
Can I do some kind of perception to see if I catch that?
I can do a quick insight check. I'm gonna say MA is probably pretty guarded, so it'll really be up to Taz if anything is actually readable, depending on your result.
23.
Yeah, you can see that.
Just the slightest bit of disdain. That we all point towards the wealthy. Anyway. But yeah, it's not long before the museum is going to be closing for the day. It is still open. You've got like a little 20-minute window to get there and get in.
Yeah, so I guess we would pull up into the back, into whatever little entrance that we normally kind of lurk into. We know the secret codes in the back because he lets us, not secret codes, but like,
The punch.
they know us enough to let us in kind of deal. We don't have the passcodes. That would just make it too easy.
Yeah, so I would say that like he gives you your code. He has given you his code. He's definitely not supposed to. But yeah, he did for that entrance. And as you go to the back area, and Gloria's like, I'm getting the car out of here. Let me know whenever you're ready to go. I don't know how long this is going to be. You would punch in the code. He keeps you like they update it very regularly, so he would let you know if it changes. He usually does within a few days of it changing at least. But as you punch in the code, it does not work.
Cool.
Back entrance does not seem to be the way to go.
Can I see if I can just activate it?
Yeah. I'll do it as a technology.
Perfect. All right. I'm gonna. Sorry, this is MI, not Taz. I'm gonna shove Raven out of the way with my shoulder. Let me handle this. And I rolled a 31.
31.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, with your tablet that you don't even have to like expand it the whole way. You can do this in quarter size, essentially. You're on the network with them, like in the things network, and you see that it's been manually like locked, not the normal automatic locks. Someone else did this remotely as well. But yeah, you're able to unlock it, but it seems like this has been tampered with.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at everyone and say, I don't think we're alone.
Are you able to track where that came from?
I have not done that before, but I'm gonna give it a shot. And yeah, let's all get in before it manually locks again. And then I'll do my little Taz hands again.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay, sorry. I'll stop. That's enough of them.
No, there's more. We have
It'll
more.
it'll be a problem if I keep doing it. It'll actually I do the same thing with Kate and very gracious about it. But Kate the Gracious, you might say. Yeah, you're able to get in and go ahead and do the other technology check for me. Or another one.
Dirty 30.
Good lord. Okay. 30, yeah. Someone got into the system, obviously. Actually, with that, you can tell that, like, there was some remote, like, hacking at some point to get in, but now it seems like they are hardwired into the system. You can figure that out. At least there's, like, a node that things are being accessed from right now. That's been kind of, like, ad hoc'd into the thing. Also, spoilers for anyone watching, I don't know a ton about technology, so if I say something dumb, no, I didn't. Hey, I don't want to hear it.
In this world, it is not dumb.
Yeah, it works.
So from what I saw about them putting the information in, does that help me track where it came from?
Yeah, you can find the room that they're accessing it from. Roughly, if you can pull up a it's pretty easy to get like a floor plan of this museum. I don't have one to send you, but yeah.
In the room that we're in, are there any cameras?
Yes, there are.
I'm just gonna like quickly move those to not face us.
Gotcha.
It's just like probably the first instinctual thing that I do as I enter the room.
You move it instantly, but you also like instinctively, not instantly, a little of both. But you recognize that they've actually been turned off, like the feed's cut from them too. Whoever got into the door also went ahead and shut that off.
I kind of like that about them. But
right, these
yeah,
hackers are pretty cool.
I will look at Raven and Revenant and Jean and say, I think I know where we can find them, but do we want to make a plan first?
Tell us where you think we can find them.
Yeah.
To better make a plan, of course.
Right. There's. So you said I have like a map, right?
Yeah. And on the map, from what you can see, I will take the burden of having to make it up off of you. I got it. There's like a little like meeting room that they're accessing it from. It just seems like something that's an easy way to get onto the network is from that room, and that's where every signal seems to be coming from.
Yeah, I'll just get down like on my knees and roll out the map on the floor, and I'll say, "We're here," and they seem to be coming from over here.
Where's the item that they're trying to get?
The item is actually in one of the newer exhibits. So there's like a new to the museum area. Sometimes things stop in there just for like a short time and then move on to their next location, which is what this is supposed to do. And sometimes they show up there before getting added into their specific part of the collection. So you know the area that this stuff should be. It's also possible that it's not out yet because the museum website is not always the most accurate on the coming attractions. So it's either in the back warehouse area of it, or it's already out on the new items display.
I'm not too sure. I guess it could be one of two places. It could be out on the floor in one of these exhibits, or it could still be in the back.
It seems like it might make more sense for us to get the item first and maybe even secure the area a little bit where they're going to head. Maybe we can set a trap in there for them and try to find this, get this little book out of here rather than just go straight to them?
That makes sense.
Perhaps we can split up. 2 of us on the book and 2 to take a look at where they are.
Yeah.
We could do that.
How do you want to divvy it up?
I pull Raven
Real question.
to me. I think that we will be together. We look like we're going to the ballet. You look like you're going to a rave. It makes sense.
Dude, this is
He's not
designer.
wrong. He's not wrong.
The irony in this is that most days I would look like I just woke up. And Travis would be all decked out in something fancy.
Well, this is how shallow Jean-Michel is.
Yeah.
It's all about the
Right.
looks.
He
Yeah.
knows who has the actual money.
Yeah.
That's who
He's
he'll stick
figured it
with.
out.
And we have
Yeah.
a way to communicate with each other. I mean, I can tap into you, I suppose.
Well, we already know that you have a way into Raven's phone.
I think we determined earlier that we have comms in our
Yeah,
crew, but
yeah. I forget who
Yeah.
paid for it, but yeah, there's comms in the
I'm sure
Okay.
we-
either by my just allowance or
You-
someone put it on their
Well,
sheet.
that
I
works
don't
out very
remember.
well then.
Yeah, it's
you just finally
comms
giving
exist.
in to me.
Right. If you
Yeah.
I remember getting this enough, I'll fall for it. Just wear me down. It's fine.
Remember when we got that car that turns into a boat that turns into a plane? Remember that?
Hold on now. Hold up.
You just
Yeah,
see
the
our
worst
head
thing is I
explode.
know how I would do that in the system. But anyway.
I love it. I've planted the seed. So I will just hand out little earpieces to everybody. Travis has already got his, so he just would need to grab his out. But I'll just hand out the other ones to you. And as I go to hand it to him, I would love for this to work when I get it back.
Oh, it will. Thank you.
Okay.
It'll work so well with the extra bug that's been placed in it. Anyway.
Yeah, maybe you can fish that glitch that's been happening in there. But if you run into, you'll know when you see him because he's like 75 years old. But if you run into my buddy Stanley, just send me a shout. Let me know he's all right out there, and tell him to get out of the building if you do see him.
Right. So the 2 wealthier, I will say, are going to the exhibit, and the other 2 are going to the warehouse.
That's about right.
Perfect. All right. Yeah, go ahead and do your quick split up. We'll jump over to the group that's going to the display first, actually.
All right. I hold my arm out to Raven. Shall we?
I will pause for just a second and then take the arm and walk
And
in.
we will.
But it's very loose. It's very loose. I'm also just kind of like I'm not really walking. It looks like I'm walking, but I'm like on edge. So I'm actually flying, but I'm looking like I'm walking, but I'm not.
I didn't
You went
realize.
away. Yeah.
Hi, we're back. And I believe the last thing that happened was, if I could get a reminder, I don't know when it cut off exactly. Perfect. Raven and Hellhound are headed into the museum. So it is near the end of the day for the exhibits. People are getting ready to filter out, but not quite gone yet. So there's few patrons. You see some at a distance standing at the display that you're intending to go to. And Raven, you had said something particular about the way you were getting there?
Oh, Raven is a little bit on edge, so she's looking like she's walking to the average person who will be looking at her, but she's not actually stepping on the ground. She's flying. She's just stepping and just ready to to launch at any moment. It's like a nervous tick, I guess. Little anxiety
And
setting in.
Jean-Michel barely notices her even on his arm. As soon as he gets close enough to see, he is scanning the room and examining every person there and looking
Perfect.
around.
Roll me a
Yeah,
perception check for the both of you.
Yeah, I would like to do that as well. Also,
Meanwhile,
just for clarity, my anxiety is not because of the mission. My anxiety is because I'm now doing this weird walking into the room as if I'm going to a ball.
it is very extra, but there are other well-dressed patrons. This all sorts come here. The other two, before you get your perceptions, I will say you two have made it to like the little back area, and it's once again accessible only through codes. I won't make you roll again. You've already been in this system, so you're able to unlock it. No sign of any security guards back here as of yet, but you would have to imagine that they do rounds. So we'll have you entering the warehouse. The two of you, what did you get for your perceptions, Hellhound and Raven?
16.
24.
Okay. 16, Hellhound, you kind of immediately write off some of the people that look too well dressed to be weird hex hackers, by your estimation. Raven, you see someone very casually. If you've ever told someone act casual and see the weirdness that immediately develops from doing so, it's that kind of thing. There's someone looking at another display, but he keeps glancing in the direction of the Alan Lovelace display.
Cool. And it's
He's
just
kind of just a pretty average looking guy. He's got like a hoodie, a backwards baseball cap, that kind of thing.
Okay. I'm just going to kind of like pull on your arm slightly and look at the person. I'm not going to say anything, and then I'll look back over at you just to make sure that you track it.
And he moves and pretends to look at another thing while stealing glances to that and then checking on his phone. Just very suspicious behavior in general. It would be like someone checking someone out in public and trying not to be seen, but it's this artifact instead. So they're like, casually yawn, I'm looking at a thing, but I don't want to be seen looking at a thing. But like fairly convincingly, if you hadn't been looking for someone doing it.
Okay. And what's the size of this person, and do I suspect any super stuff, or is this can't tell?
Average build. From what you know of the hex hackers, if he's one of them, they have been known to have actual access to magic, but often many of them are just hackers. It's a pretty eclectic group, and the display. If you get closer to the display, you see that there is indeed the book out there. There's a book out there, but the little placard says that there are other items from Alan Lovelace that will be joining it, which you would presume is still in the back in the warehouse. But it's apparently like an automaton that he tried to build in his life. It was like work that he never quite got to finish.
Cool. I will
so it's like
quietly relay that information in the comms.
Perfect. The two of you hear that in the back room. You also would hear some people moving about in the back. It could be workers. It could not. They're kind of around a corner, so you're not totally sure. How are you going about looking for? This is like one of those Indiana Jones type warehouses where you hide the Ark of the Covenant. There's just boxes and crates upon crates, and who knows the filing system. I guess there probably would be a digital filing system too, but you're in here in the middle of this warehouse, and it's small because it is part of the museum. But yeah, what's the plan for looking for this thing?
So is there any like catalog of where they would have stored the stuff back here to give us an idea of where it might be?
Emma hears him, but also hears the voices and like kind of quickly puts her back against the wall and drags Revenant against it too. And
Oh, I'll just look at her and go, oh, don't worry about it. I'll snap and I kind of go fully shadow.
hell yeah.
Do you go full Revenant before you fade into shadow? And what does that look like?
I think, yes, what it'll be like this 6-inch gap where it just kind of goes down, where the skull mask comes down and the cloak that kind of flows like it's underwater comes down, but then right above that is when it just starts melting into shadow.
And he is concealed. Totally within the shadow.
Hell yeah. So what is this item called again?
It just says that it's the automaton parts from Alan Lovelace. So it's just kind of done as like a lot of things.
Am I able to see how things are categorized back here? I assume by letters, and I'm just gonna go to the A's, but I will do my little techie stuff.
So
I'll go. They usually categorize by last name.
by last name, it's also by like continent. So you'd have to go Europe first, and then from there go down to Lovelace, and then yeah, it's a little complex, and the if you hack into it, the digital side of things is not super well maintained. So it's a lot more just like the European stuff is this giant log. So combined with just looking around, which I will get an investigation check from the both of you for.
Okay, and is it like the Indiana Jones warehouse where it's just shelves that go up?
It is,
okay,
it is
I'll,
in fact
I'll
piled
like,
up.
Am I? You get the bottom. I'll fly up and check up above.
My investigation was on 11.
11. With that, you're kind of in the right area, and all it seems like is this is going to take a minute. Like this is going to be a bit because it is like boxes upon boxes next to each other. Some stuff is being wheeled and like has been parked in front of areas, and you have to move that out of the way.
That it's a 75-year-old who's in charge of this place.
The shade. Travis, what did you get for investigation?
I got a 17, and I had nothing in investigation, so that's just a flat.
Flat. Okay. So with the 17, you have narrowed the area pretty significantly. It has taken until basically the museum is starting to close.
Okay.
I rolled a thing, and now I want to roll another thing. Wow. Okay. So MA, I will say, as you've been going through, just because of who you are as a person, you have been turning the cameras to make sure. I mean, he's in shadow, but no camera has faced you yet. Roll me a perception check, though.
22.
22. As you're continuing to look around, you're like getting frustrated a little bit, and you might not be showing it at all because you're guarded. But you as you move a little box, you look up because reflexively every camera you turn, the camera's been turned back. There's definitely that little red light that is there. So it's on you.
I'm gonna press.
Or it's on its way to be on you.
Okay, I'm gonna. Cool. Well, if it's not on me yet and it's just on its
Not quite.
way,
Yeah, it's turning.
Can I squeeze myself? Like you said, there's bookshelves or something, right? Or boxes. Can I squeeze myself between boxes?
Yeah, roll me a stealth.
Okay.
You have a lot of cover here, so.
That was good. My stealth +6. 24.
24. Okay. Yeah, the camera definitely where you're at, the boxes are obscuring you. You're like between two of the crates, ducked down pretty low.
I'm gonna press my little comms thing and talk to Revenant and say, I think we're being watched.
From where?
Look, where is it?
It's like in the area you're in. It's one of the corner ones. I guess it's on a flat wall, so it can turn into face the room and then down the hallway.
Northwest corner.
Okay, I'll kind of look up and go, got you covered, and I'll do the cloud area concealment right across it.
Okay. As it is blotted out with ink. We go back to the other two. The museum is starting to close. You see people like filtering out, doing their last bit of conversations. You have seen Stanley. He's come by and said hello. He's he lets you know he'll be back. He's like cleaning up. You've stayed after it's closed before, so he's not super worried about it. He's like, oh, I'll be right back around in just a little bit. I have to make sure everything's locked up in this area, and then I'll circle back around. You know how I do my perimeter.
I'm
Hopefully
gonna give him a hug, and I'm gonna lean in real close to his ear, and I'm just gonna whisper in his ear, "You need to go." And I'm gonna assume he's heard that from me before, but maybe not. But
not in
and
this context. He
I'm
tries
gonna kind
to.
of tap his back a little bit, and
I'm gonna roll to understand nuance with this man.
Roll for nuance.
Cool.
I like that.
He
I don't see that on the
It's a
table.
new thing. Expertise nuance. He kind of chuckles and he's like, "You sound like all my coworkers trying to get me to retire," because he said he needed to go. But he also gives you a knowing wink as he kind of hastens his walk and heads. It looked like he was headed down like this one particular corner, and you could tell he's going in the back towards like a more secure area. So he picked up what you were putting down.
cool.
Well done.
Do I know if he's heading towards where the group was holed up? Because isn't there a group also that's holed up in one of these offices? Do I know if he's heading in that direction or not?
Not going down that hallway. It's like opposite hallway.
All right, cool. And then do I have a bead on the baseball hat guy?
You can see he's definitely like looking at the people who have not left yet. Like he's been waiting for people to clear out, and he's getting concerned. And I'll say we'll just carry on your perception from earlier of watching this guy. You see that like he's suddenly like he was looking at that, and then he's like super invested in his phone right now, like something of import has just happened.
And then how many cameras do I see in this room?
Oh, probably like 4 to 6.
Okay,
You
cool.
know, just because you've chatted with Stanley, who should not be telling anyone of the public this, but it's fine. You know that a couple of the cameras here are for show. They can't all be actually surveilling. But yeah, you would imagine at least 4 in this room are operating. The guy looks really concerned as he's typing on his phone now. And he puts his phone in his pocket and kind of heads towards the exit, but you can tell he's like just slowing down enough for other people to pass him, like he wants to hang back.
Right.
And as he does that, we cut back to the other group who has locked a camera with shadows. Oh, did you have something?
Real quick before we do that, can I use my where is it? The ghost hand. Can I use my ghost hand and flip up the 2 cameras that are indeed working? Just point them up towards the ceiling.
Sure. That'll be like 2 standard actions, but you're just hanging around doing that. I like how much everyone is using telekinesis versus cameras today. The camera was the true enemy all along.
At least it's not a door.
I've always felt that cameras are my true enemy.
It's not a door.
Personally, this isn't a door at all. So back in the warehouse.
Meanwhile,
your quick acting with the shadows may have caused a bit of attention in the end. But through your searching together now, under the cloud of darkness, you're able to be a lot less stealthy. The people you heard seem to have moved on and passed you at some point, and now there's not really much need to be quiet. You're hidden in darkness, and with that time, you are able to find a nice, hefty little crate that has the label that it is Alan Lovelace display. It's got the date that it's supposed to go up. You notice that date is 2 days past museums, but it's it's there in front of you. What do you do?
How heavy is this thing?
It's up there. It's in the hundreds, not quite a ton, but this is a big case. The box itself accounts for a bunch of the weight, but it's not the majority. I'll say that.
Hmm.
I'm gonna try to lift it up, and you can see that I'm straining, and I don't even get it off of the ground before I have to give up.
Yeah, I don't think we thought about that part.
It does have a lid, but it would have to be like broken open with like a pry bar. Like
Let me try something. Can I try to use move object? My telekinesis move object to, I guess, push it towards where we came from.
Let me see. What? You can lift 25 tons with your move object, it turns out.
Jeez.
Nice.
So what does it look like when you use telekinesis? What's the vibe?
Yeah, I'll say I've never done this before. Let me try something, and I'll put both of my hands out and kind of push you back gently, not in a rude way, but just like to give us space, and then point my fingers at my head and stare at the box, and then like close my eyes and think really, really, really hard. And then hopefully the box just starts moving.
And it does indeed. It's actually, with as much strain as it looks like you're doing, the box like doesn't like slowly lift. It just rises. Nothing. It is like you have locked onto the thing itself and have decided to move it. An interesting thing about you and this system in general, there are complications. And when complications get pulled on, the player gets a hero point. So what I'm going to do right now is give Taz a hero point as I pull on a complication of needing concentration. Their concentration is unfortunately broken immediately as you lift the box and there is a loud crash from the back of the museum. In this warehouse portion, which you know to be the back of the museum itself, there is now a gaping hole in the wall as a being crashes through. Slightly metallic, shining, like bald man, gray skin, like looks as if he's made of metal, crashes through the back wall and looks directly at the two of you. And at that, we're going to go on a quick little break here. I think a 10-minute break.
Cool.
A lot, but I have to take care of something real quick, so sorry. A quick 10-minute break. And before we go on that, I do want to say to the audience, we are doing a giveaway today. So we are going to be giving away 2 fancy Mutants and Masterminds PDFs, courtesy of the folks over at Green Ronin, who have been so kind to give those to us. And 2 things we're giving away are the Basic Heroes Handbook, one of my favorite books by far in the setting, so that's why I was like, let's get that one. And the other one is an adventure for 3rd edition called The Reign of Cats and Dogs. Running this adventure is what got this group together in the first place, so it's got a special place in my heart. To try to win one of those, what you're gonna do in chat is type in the word data, D-A-T-A, data, and yeah, for your chance to win. I don't think you have to add any symbols. I could be wrong about that. If a voice from the heavens wants to correct me on that, I think that's where we're at. Okay, perfect. And then we will return after that little break and get back into this adventure as things just got a little more complicated. So we will see you after the break. Bye.
Bye.
I'm back as we continue this Superhero Origins journey. We left right as someone burst into the room. But as we come back from break, Nightbot is going to tell us who won our little giveaway. As I look for my dice that just fell. And I'm not sure, has it popped up yet?
Yes, Anderson.
Yes, Anderson is our winner. Congratulations and enjoy your 2 PDFs of Mutants and Masterminds. I highly recommend the system, obviously. But yes, and thank you for watching as well.
Fun.
A lot of fun. And we go back to the warehouse as some shenanigans, as befitting of our series, goes down. A metallic man has burst through the wall, flying, which should be noted. And I'm going to go ahead and just launch straight into initiative. And let me get that from everyone, including those of you at the front of the meeting.
Oh, okay. Mm.
That was a terrible roll.
Oh, wait. We get some pluses to this, right? Where'd it go?
Where does initiative live on the sheet?
Right.
there
I'm
initiative
looking
bonus?
for it.
Above offense, or like in the corner of offense.
Oh,
There it
look at
is.
Oh, I
There it
see
is.
it.
Hooray! That's just a smidgen better. 10 for me.
9
right.
for me.
Oh,
Hold on one
13.
second. 9 Raven, 10 Hellhound.
I got 27.
Whoa.
Lord,
Whatever.
Revenant, slow down. What's the rush, my dude?
Why are you so anxious?
Yeah, like,
Wait
calm
up.
down. MI, what did you get?
And I got 13.
Gotcha.
I'm good at one thing, and that's breaking things. So that's why I'm anxious.
Yeah, I just realized, Jackie, I have absolutely no idea what your character is good at. I probably should have figured that out before we got on stream, but
It shall all be
That's the
revealed
fun
very
of it.
soon.
All right,
I was
and
like,
one more roll from me.
How about
Hey.
8? No, darn.
Never. I would never roll an 8. How dare you? Even suggest it. That's the only number I've never rolled in a day. Not true. I'm just
we
saying.
just make shit up.
Yeah, I can say whatever. Who's gonna stop me? Revenant,
Oh,
you are
stop.
actually
Sorry, Kate.
you are actually the first
I was
to
waiting.
go.
Really?
You are really, yeah. It's so
And then
shocking.
we
I don't
wait
know
an hour,
how.
and then we can all come in.
Actually, Jackie, on your sheet, you do have the advantage C's initiative, where you could use a hero point to just go first before everyone. But there's
Oh,
nothing
I
really
could.
going on your side.
Yeah.
But
That's
I mean,
probably why Raven and I are not engaged yet. That's my reasoning.
you're just dating. You're not engaged.
For just dating.
Um,
We just
what? What a
We just
twist!
met.
Sorry, I did not place that on you. That is a joke. I'm sorry. Revenant, what are you gonna do as this shiny, beautiful man flies into the room?
I'm gonna hit my comms and say, so our delivery has gotten interrupted. And I'm trying to see if I want to hide people or attack. I think, because I don't know what MI's capabilities are, I'm going to be like, okay, I'm going to give us some cover, MI, and then just do the shadow cover between us and the robot.
Nice. Like it. I like it. Good first turn. Checking something real quick. Okay, cool.
And then I'm going to float a little bit higher than I was when I made the cloud. So
Making yourself visible to him specifically, right?
Yeah.
Okay. He stares at you. It's a cold look. His eyes have kind of like a glowy green thing going on, but it's like you see numbers running across, like data stream going on
that's
behind
weird.
the eye lenses. Yeah, so it's immediate apparent that this is not like someone in a suit of armor necessarily. The movements don't seem right for it, and it seems like they would have to be really small to be in it because it's a fairly compact body. So it's either like a child in a battle suit or it's a robot, and it definitely feels more like a robot.
We're being attacked by a toddler.
Again,
I vote toddler.
all right, next up is actually a guy with a baseball cap.
He goes before us.
He does.
We have failed.
You see he's looking over his shoulders, and then you all hear, it doesn't take a perception roll to hear the crash in the back room, and plans have changed substantially. So he turns and he points a finger. You can't really He's very hidden under there, so you don't really see his eyes very well. But he points in the direction of the display, and you see kind of like numbers and things floating in the air, like a glyph, like a magical glyph. But instead of the normal symbols you would see, it looks like coding. And a bolt of magical energy flies forth, crashes into the window, or not the window. Why don't I know last names? Crashes into the display case above where the book is and shatters it. And he sprints towards it. Next is actually the shiny, shiny man. He turns to Revenant, actually. Stares at you for a good beat. Like it's hard to tell. Again, this isn't a person in the traditional sense, so it's hard to read the body language of like, are you going to suddenly move or what? It studies you for a second. I suppose we all found our way of extending our lives, immortality. But I did not expect to see another one of the students here, he says to Revenant. And he raises his hands and sends a blast of magical energy. Actually, he's going to specifically say, oh no, where did it go? Oh, my words. He yells out, Might of Malador, as he points, and a bolt of necrotic energy slams into you, or flies in your direction, because he does have to roll for that. I'm already ready to like, yeah, he got you, bud. And this is a decent. Does a 21 hit your dodge and parry? Or your dodge? The only thing that matters in
It's
this one.
plus 10, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's just one above my dodge.
One above your dodge. Unfortunate. So you will be rolling a DC 27 toughness check.
No problem.
Isn't no problem.
Just roll for initiative. You'll be fine.
Yeah, pretend it's an initiative roll, and it won't be an issue.
I rolled a 26.
Well, the 26, not
Yep.
bad. So it does slam into you, and you get a -1 to future toughness saves. That is
Okay.
a ruse of sorts. The way it works in the system, for those who don't know, failures stack up more penalties against you or give you conditions until you are unable to roll high enough to survive it. Failure by 4 degrees is a KO, and the degrees go by 5s. So that's a very quick rundown of it, but you'll see how it all plays out. And yeah, you are slammed into. The whispers have gotten louder in this room. I mean, it's already a little chaotic because you can hear some people yelling in the back. The people who passed y'all apparently have heard all this chaos, but it's real hard to focus on that with the whispers.
Oh, fun.
And then we take us to MI. I like that
Can
all the action's in the back right now.
This shadow you cast between us,
Mhm.
can I do things through that?
It's not physical. It's just like a darkness spell, essentially.
Yeah.
I was about to say, it is, you can't actually see through it unless you've got, well, let me see.
But I did see where the robot man was before you cast that, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he doesn't have it where it's selective for who can see through it. So it is dark. I will say you have the ability to sense minds, and you can actually use that to aim instead of your vision.
I will do that. So I'm going to sense this person's mind, and I'm going to say, why did the robot leave the party early? It got a virus. And then I'm going to cast my telekinetic bolt at it.
Oh my god, Imai's got the quips. All right. And remind me what
You
the
have to hit a DC 25.
DC 25, and that's a telekinetic bolt?
Yes.
Okay, so that one does take a roll from you as well.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
roll with a +10. Yeah, some people have it where it's just perception, where they can just look and deal the damage, but this one has a roll.
Okay. So it's D20 plus 10.
Yes.
Okay. I rolled a 23. Do I also have to meet my DC?
No, you don't. You have to hit his dodge, and you do.
Cool.
So yeah, your DCs are set by his defenses and
Okay.
vice versa. So, yeah. So that is a hit for sure. And now he's going to roll against that DC 25. Dice are unkind. As you do it, it's kind of weird because it seems like it comes from all of his body, like it doesn't come out of the voice box. It's like he's got speakers in him. But you hear the chant Aegis of Abraddon, and a mystical shield pops up, and the telekinetic force slams into that. The shield breaks, but he's fine.
Okay.
As this is probably MI's first taste of actually seeing magic actually happen, because a lot of MI's adventures have been like just cyber attacks and things like that. This is
Yeah, I
really,
don't leave my base.
yeah. Again, goals, absolute goals. Owning a basement is goals, truly. And then we go to, I can write things in order, Hellhound. Back in your area, someone has opened the display case.
Okay.
Rather violently.
So, when you see Jean-Michel, he suddenly crouches down really quickly, as if he's a frog, which looks very odd because he's still in this business suit. He leaps forward, intent on getting between the book and the guy with the backwards hat on, and he turns to him, and my eyes will turn red, and my horns will appear, and as that's happening, my body is sort of engulfed in a flaming aura of orangish, purplish flame. And I turn to him and I say, "The book is not for you to take."
Love it. So I'm guessing that's activating the flaming body, or
The flaming aura.
nice. So that's actually just a reaction to do. You have one more action, unless you would like to roll intimidate with that threat.
Oh yeah, let's intimidate this guy.
Yeah.
Oh, nat 20. What's the
Oh
total?
goodness.
Plus 8, 28.
28.
Nice.
Yeah, he
Woohoo.
fails that pretty hard. So he is demoralized,
Sweet.
which will
Amazing.
affect his coming turns. And we finally get to the last in initiative so far. Raven.
So far, he says.
Oh, so far. Why would he say that?
I know. Why would he start like that? So you're gonna see Raven is gonna basically just kind of float up, and the shield that's around me is like little. They're kind of like little snakes that swirl around as I go, and I am just going to fly and grab the book and portal out.
I like it. It's
So
a
I'm
smart
just gonna,
move.
you're gonna see me just gonna kind of basically dive straight in, and this will be like I'm kind of right behind. So we've got a flaming body. I come in, I grab the book, and I'm gonna portal out to the car.
Okay. Well, the car was circling, but you can get out of the building for sure.
Okay, so yeah, so I'll go where
No
the car
problem.
was.
Yeah, really smart play. I'm about it. Let me see how much this guy failed
So
his.
that's a DC of 22, I think, something maybe, or no? No, I guess just do it because no, that's
just
the
do it.
DC was for the other thing. I just do it. I just do it.
Just do it. That's the power of superhero fantasies. You can kind of
Yeah.
get
That
away
was
with a
the
lot.
bindings. I was gonna do bindings, and I was like, no, I'm not. I'm just gonna steal that damn thing and go.
All right. Yeah. The guy did not look prepared for that. He already kind of stepped back whenever the flaming aura thing happened, and like his hat came off. He's just like standard guy in his 20s. You know, he's a little lanky. He does have like some cool little circuit board looking tattoos under his eyes, but very like faint, and it looks like they're just like glyphs, not real tattoos. Like they're just happening now for what he's doing. Yeah, but his eyes are like, oh no, I didn't get the thing I'm supposed to get. Would be that expression of, oh, that's just gone. That's unfortunate. And we're back to Revenant.
All right, I do have a question. What does
I
fainting?
could have an answer.
What does fainting do?
Fainting
FEI?
sets them up for future attacks. So you can use deception, or if you've got the right stuff, intimidation instead. And what it does is make them vulnerable against your next attack until the end of your next turn, basically. But you could take an extra action to hit them when you make them vulnerable. You've got that option.
I will, because I have startle where I can use intimidation to feint in combat.
Okay.
So I will do that. So it leaves my shadow cover for am I still going? And I'll just try to like do a quick maneuver so he thinks where I'm going, and then cut over real fast.
Gotcha.
Well,
I was about to say, if you're going to use intimidate for it, you can flavor it more as like you're about to do something really dangerous too, instead of just like making him. Yeah, you have a lot of leeway on the flavor for these things.
Okay, yeah.
I do want it described in panel form of what kind of like awesome comic shot of you being scary AF looks like. Please.
I mean, it feels weird doing this to a robot, but I would probably just, all the light around me just vanishes as it looks like liquid shadows surrounding my hands. To make him think I'm like doing an all-out attack against him, but
nice. Roll that intimidate, and I will resist it with.
And I will use that hanging circumstance bonus I got from the last
week. Gotcha. Very cool. Very cool.
Let's see.
Tell you what, I'm gonna use my wording +2 as well to resist this.
Devious Heart says you can also use a move action at -5 to feint.
It's true. You can choose to do it at a penalty instead.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I have a fancy thing I have to use. So rolled a 15, +2 is a 17, then +10 intimidation, so a 27.
27? Okay, let me see how much I have to fail by to be real unhappy. So, as it turns out, it's just any kind of failure. It doesn't have to be by a lot. He's vulnerable now. Cool. What that means is I will be cutting his active defenses in half against you.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Until the next turn. Are you doing anything else?
Nope, that was it, because I'm keeping the shadow cloud up for MI's defense.
Okay, well, it goes straight back to, oh no, I keep thinking it goes to Construct next. That would be the best back and forth, but no, Backpack Guy. Backpack Guy is frustrated and will lash out. You hear him chant a little spell, and these sort of like a glyph, not a glyph, a holographic claw forms around one of his hands, and he leaps up and scratches towards you with this spell that he casts. Oh no. He misses. I rolled real low. But yeah, he swipes right next to you, and the flames lick up towards him. He's kind of lucky he didn't hit. And then we go. He's having a bad day. He didn't get his thing, and things are happening.
It's going to get worse.
The construct turns to you, Revenant, cocks his head as you didn't really respond to the things he was saying. and says, I suppose my immortality was a bit more successful. There's not much left of you in there, is there? And he seems like distracted. And you can actually hear this too, Hellhound, but coming from the guy you're fighting. His mouth isn't moving, but the same sound is like coming from him. Like they're linked in a way. And yeah, so he then reaches a hand and says, I'll do the mercy of ending your continued existence. And he says once more, strength of Malador. And blasts nowhere near you. The rolls today, you can tell that it's kind of like a strain even being here in a weird way, but he lifts his hands to aim towards you, and there's like a crackle and a little fissure cracks in the body that he's using, and he blasts, and it misses you, and some priceless thing on the shelf next to you just got obliterated. Unfortunately.
Raven would be so mad.
And then we go to MI.
While I'm still hidden in the shadows, I'm going to try to use my my move object one more time to just get this box out of the room. So I'm gonna once again focus on it and do my little thing and try to shift the box towards the door.
Okay, so yeah, you could actually, since you can kind of see the exit now, the box just, without scraping on the ground or anything, lifts up, slides kind of into the shadows, and then down the hallway, gets all the way to the door. You've got massive range on this, and it weighs very little to you.
And I'm gonna use. And do I also get movement during my turns?
Yes, you do.
I'm gonna use
move
my
at a
move
standard.
to follow it out.
Perfect. Yeah, you run down the hallway with it. Nice. Hellhound, back to you.
All right. I swing around to catch Raven taking the book. And I spin back to him and I'm like, "Arrgh!" And I just swing at him with a claw in anger.
All right.
Let me roll things. $26.
26 is a definite hit. What is the DC on your claw?
22.
22. Oh, what did you roll? You that claw crits on a 17 to 20.
I rolled an 18. Oh, yes, it does.
Yeah. So that's
I am really upset.
Yeah, so with crits, you can do a few different things. You can choose to raise the DC that they save against by 5, or you can add a secondary effect like an affliction or weaken or something like that, or you can change the attack in some way, like if you want to change the descriptor to be something else.
My intent is I want to hit him so hard that I get him out of the way because I need to get out of this room and find Raven.
Okay, so we can either do that as a move object knockback kind of thing, or just if we raise the DC, he'll probably be unconscious.
There we go.
Worse. Okay,
let's raise the DC then.
All right, what's the normal DC?
22.
22, which means he is saving us a 27 now.
Okay.
Nope. Super easy, no problem. Turns out it's a problem. The claws kind of gouge into him in a way that will not be super specified here, but he is thrown back against a wall, not a display. Good choice on your part. He slams into that and is definitely done. He's knocked out, and there's a little bit of fluid. And yeah, he's done. We're taking him out of initiative. Backpack Man, no more.
Yay.
Which takes us to Raven.
Yeah, so I got outside. So I know there was like this creature that like broke through the wall. Is that on the side that we came in, or is that in a completely different spot? So like, what do
That
I
is
see when I teleport back to where the door that we came in at?
so. If you do that, you would. It's really like on the back side of it. You're near the back entrance, which is where the warehouse is. So you
Mhm.
can now more easily hear the chaos that's going on in there.
But I don't see
Uh,
anything though. I'm not like in sight
no,
of
not
them.
from here. You wouldn't. Yeah, you don't
Okay.
see them.
Okay. Um, so I have this thing. So my goal is to get it the heck out of here. So I'm gonna call Gloria and just be like, "Where the hell are you? SOS!" And snap her my location of where I am. Um, and do I get a response back from her?
So she knows that in these moments, it's not like a time to be like, yes, of course, I am on my way. I will be there soon. You
I'm
just
just
get like the
checking out
little
at Target.
whatever emoji is your I will be there, that emoji.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a little lightning bolt.
yeah, so you know she's probably en route, and you have the book.
Okay,
I will
cool.
say we're kind of fudging the time that everything's happening since everything's
Sure.
happening kind of at once. You do hear when the most recent blast went off, and you heard just before that. Actually, roll me a perception. You pop up outside. You're listening for the chaos, and let me get that perception.
Ooh, I rolled terrible.
Probably don't hear.
Maybe not. 16.
16. You
I
you
rolled a
definitely hear
3,
like
so
you hear the sort of chanting that goes with a spell, but you can't make out what is being invoked right now. You hear that, and then the big crash of the last blast that missed him, but you don't glean any other information from that. You know around where it's happening, but not what is being said.
okay, cool. Yeah, so I guess I'm going to just fly to the roof so that I'm not in sight if anybody does happen to walk out that door.
Okay.
Um, and I'll guess if I have the ability to, I will also on the comms just say got the book. Just all call.
Okie doke. Everyone, you get that. Your devices aren't being interfered with or anything at this moment. So you do in
Yeah.
fact
So I'm
get
just
that
kind of
message.
I'm sorry. I'm just kind of hovering on the roof, like I can see down there, so that with Gloria shows up, kind of deal or whatever. And but I'm not going into battle because I don't want to. I don't want to risk the book.
Okie doke. We're back to Revenant.
Okay, what is the difference between a power attack and an all-out attack?
Power attack lowers your ability to hit, messes with your accuracy to raise the effect rank that you're using. So if you take at the most a -5 to hit, you get a +5 to your DC that they're rolling. All out attack does a similar thing, but it actually raises your accuracy and instead lowers your defense.
Um, hmm.
I know. If
Choices.
you want advice from the GM,
Yes, I'm always welcome.
because you have made him vulnerable to you already,
Yeah.
accuracy probably doesn't need any help.
Okay. Okay, I will do a power attack then with my shadow blast,
Okey doke.
and I'll go. Am I the cloud's gonna go away? Sorry. Okay, that one's been mean. I'm not. That one's going to dice jail.
Time out.
Right. That's damaged.
So sorry.
+8. So I rolled a 22. If I did math right.
22 to hit. Definitely hits.
Yeah.
And what is the DC now?
The DC on that is for Shadow Blast is 27.
27. Did you power attack all the way up to 5?
Yeah.
It's a 32. Disgusting.
I want it to be a one and done.
It's pretty close to it. So I have to do math too. How very dare you. He gets 3 degrees of failure on
Ouch.
that. Yeah, real rough. What that means is that he will unfortunately only have to suffer that one more time before he's out. And there's like that lovely screech of the internet connecting. You remember that lovely sound that we used to
Yeah.
get? Yeah. There's that as it's like he almost stops flying for a second and then recovers. And he complains, so tedious keeping this form together, being fragmented across so much space.
Is he still up though?
He is still up.
I'll kind of look at him and go, I don't know who you think I am, but you're wrong. And then I will use a hero point to do another attack.
Okay, go for it. He is not vulnerable for this one. It's to your next attack at the end of the turn. So
I figure
this one
it's normal now.
Yep.
Let's see. 15 plus 8 is 23. Yeah.
3 is a hit. And this is now just against the 27.
Yeah.
Just again. He is able to withstand this one a little better than the last one. It doesn't hit him quite as hard, but he suffers another minus as he's slowly getting chipped away at this. And you can see he's getting real mad about it. The cracks are getting worse. It seems like some of the damage that's happening is from him attacking you. Like this form is clearly not suited for him. Whatever's in this shell is struggling to remain in it. And he looks at you and says very, very just flatly, I'm disappointed that this is what you've come to. And he blasts you with a 21.
Oh, yeah, that hits me by 1.
All right, DC 27, and you are at a -1 to your toughness right now.
Yeah. Okay, let's see how this goes. 16 minus 1 is 15 plus 8 is 23.
23. Okay, that's another -1 as this necromantic energy kind of courses through you for a second and then goes through. It feels similar to your shadow in a way, but it can hurt you. Your own shadow substance and anything like it, exactly like it, you're immune to. This is just to the side of it enough to where you can actually feel it. And the whispers get really loud at this newest shock of pain. But during this blast, the creature's form cracks further and like the arm blows off essentially, and then the form falls as like a husk. It's done. It
Everybody
crumbles.
would hear over the
Blasted.
comms like, ow, that expletive hurt. Kitty.
That heckin' ouched. I didn't know he was in this room until just now. So that's cool. Yeah. So that takes us out of initiative. Gloria arrives, and this thing is crushed on the ground. You've got a guy in a backpack that was using some kind of hex magic or hex hacking, and a lot of weird non sequiturs seemingly in Revenant's direction. Someone was talking to him like they knew him, but didn't. Yeah. What do you do in the aftermath of this?
I was gonna go. Where are you? Are you okay?
I just wave him down like, yep, I'm fine. I realized that me spending time on this box was pretty useless since Raven got the artifact, but I would like to run over to the fallen robot and see if there's anything of interest that he had on him.
Yeah. So not on him, but in him. He does have. You could interface with this being,
Nice.
Neat.
and if you wish to do so, roll me a technology check. Meanwhile, Gloria has arrived.
Oh,
Um,
24.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna give her the book. We've got obviously some kind of fancy case or something in the back or whatever that's locked and everything else. So I'll put it in that whole thing and send her on our way. We'll send a car for us. Get this thing out of here.
All the cars. So what you find is
Call us an
this
Uber.
thing was like transmitting. It was kind of remote controlled, so to speak, and it's got really intricate like patterns of circuits in it that don't seem necessary from like a technological standpoint, but seems to be etched in a way that was significant.
Kitty.
Yeah, will not get off of me. Um, But yeah, it was definitely a communication with something else. It's kind of all burnt up from the inside. It looked like the power source in it was probably a bit unstable, unable to hold the form together. Not the best materials.
Hmm.
There is also the matter of the knocked out guy. Probably a little worse than knocked out, like should be hospitalized kind of guy. Which I mean, knocked out, you should probably go get checked out anyway. But you know, he'll need some more intensive care.
Okay.
I'm gonna fly over to where they are, and just ask my any chance you can check and see if maybe we still have a couple people inside somewhere.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. So am I able to sense that, or is that another thing I would have to use my tablet for?
You actually can sense minds within a certain distance and radius. So you would know like other minds in the building, but you can't necessarily read them. So you would know the amount of people in here, but not who's who. So there is still staff present as well.
Okay.
So you could use your tablet and see if anyone's working in the building still.
Yeah, I'll flip that open and do that really quick.
I will say you've been on the network and rolled several technology checks to keep track of what's going on, so I'm not going to make you keep rolling with that wonderful giant bonus. Hang on to it. You might need it for later. But yeah, there's still someone was broadcasting just seconds ago from that same back room where they had hacked everything. They were hanging out there while the other people went and did stuff, it seemed.
Just a question on point of order. What was found in the crates in the back? What did you guys find back there?
They didn't open
We
it.
didn't open them yet.
Okay.
I abandoned that once you said you had the item. So that's still there.
Well, there's still other ones, right? Wasn't there multiple by this?
There was the book, so you got
Lovelace
a journal, and
of
then
the journal.
the automaton was supposed to be in the box.
Mm.
The other, yeah,
Right.
thing he was working on.
Forgot about that.
Okay.
But we're still like right there, so
Yeah, it's not like you left it. Yeah.
we haven't left the box yet. But it does seem like there's still some bugs in this system we have to catch.
Okay. Do we want to secure this item? Do we have a way of, do we want to see what's in this box first before we take off?
I'm following your lead.
Yeah, so what I would say is we just fought a giant robot. And this is a robot. So I think he wanted the robot because that one
Mhm.
sucked in more ways than one.
Yeah. So can I investigate the side of this box? Is it like stickers on these boxes? How is this box labeled?
There's like it's like a little metal, or yeah, like a metal plaque that's kind of like slammed into it, like shoved into the wood that says what, for inventory's sake, what's supposed to be in it, and it's automaton by Lovelace.
Mm-hmm. Are
And
they
it says
easily
what part of
removable
the
that I could swap 2 of them? Or
like
someone could swap 2 of them?
potentially, like it's in pieces, so it's like an
Okay.
unassembled automaton. Eat
No,
my
no, no.
dice.
I meant the label on the box. Like if I could switch labels. Like is
Oh,
it easy?
I mean, you could use telekinesis and rip off one and try to stick it to the other. I don't know how well it would stick necessarily, but I mean, it's an option.
Super glue does everything.
All
Get it? Super glue. Come on.
All
right,
right.
let's
Everybody
go
grown
fun.
If I may,
Yes.
while they're discussing this, I have since grabbed Backpack Man and I've made my way to where they are. As I come through kind of the entryway, the flames subside, my eyes go back to normal, my horns go away, and you see me as I am, and I sort of toss the backpack guy towards MI and say, "See what you can make of this."
I like your style.
You've been busy too.
As MI does that, I will, for the sake of expediting things and not making certain rolls, if you want to montage or explain in a fun, flashy way how you go about catching the last guy who was left in the building, that can be sort of narratively described. He doesn't really stand a chance against 4 PCs. So if he's similarly powered to the backpack guy, so there would be someone trying to escape from his little hidey hole where he was running or stopping security from working. And yeah, you can, whoever wants to grab the ball and say how they found him, he would be trying to escape the building. Basically, is all he's trying to do is get out of Dodge.
Who wants to take that?
Yeah, who's got dibs on
I'll skip it because I got the book. So I think somebody else should do it.
I'm injured, so I'm just gonna rest.
I'm
You're not
checking out
too
this
injured for this
guy.
guy.
I'm
Okay.
checking out this
I
guy.
think
So
it's Hellhound is going on the hunt.
All right.
Hello, let's go. It's all you.
I think it's one of those things where he opens the door, he's looking behind him to make sure nobody's following him, and as he turns around, I'm standing right there.
What do you look like when you're standing right there? In this
I
case?
am full on demon, red skinned, horns, eyes glowing, flames going, and I'm saying, best stand down.
And that's one of those perfect ones where there's the panel of him opening the door, turning back. It's you, and then the next panel is just black. We go back to the other group for what happened. It's
Love
a rare violent fade to black. It's really a cut to black, not a fade. And yeah, that's what happened to his vision essentially. And yeah, so roll me a quick technology check if you're going over this guy's belongings. Also, he is heavily injured. Anyone who's got like Hippocratic oath would probably need to step in, but otherwise, you're good to let him.
that was a 34.
34. Okay, cool. There's just, they need to
She's
stay
got
high.
one job.
No, it'll
Yep.
matter. It'll matter. So, yeah, it's you. He did not have time to like scrub what he was sending to anyone because he was very suddenly unconscious, as is the way for these folk. And he had sent messages saying that they were going to get the stuff and be on the way. They just needed the parts, is how he describes it. They needed the parts, and then they would go back to printer, is how he says it.
And where is the printer? Is that in here?
So the printer refers to the thing they stole, and
Uh-huh.
by seeing like where this has been sent to and everything, you have found basically this warehouse in the ever present in superhero settings random warehouse district where this
Is
is
it
where
by the
people set
river?
up shady things. It is near the docks. Oh my god. um, it's by the docks as it is tradition.
I think he now has a -1 to his toughness.
I just got a bruise. Yeah, so they are Emerald City, and apparently they were kind of in a rush to put this together. Yeah, and you see the last thing he gets back is that they say basically the boss said to fire it up.
Do I recognize any of these like usernames from just my time on the internet?
I will say, because of your eidetic memory, you have not forgotten a username ever. And you have seen these people around. They'll say things and then delete and everything. This particular user that's talking to the guy who's unconscious has seemed pretty plugged in and been like spreading the word of Deus Ex Data. It seems like he's getting his orders from him and kind of disseminating that information out to everyone. So he's like a big player in that scene. And then you see a few names you recognize. You're like, these are definitely the hex hackers, and they're
Yeah.
very,
Okay.
very, for lack of a better term, very plugged in to all of this.
Cool.
And yeah, it's a Google search once you know around the area that this stuff is being sent that you can narrow down what would have the capacity to run something of that power.
Yeah. So I guess I'll
Y'all.
once my
I'm so sorry. One second.
That's amazing.
Hi. Back.
Hi.
And it's just me.
So, yeah.
Hey y'all.
So I guess once the team has reassembled,
Banishment.
I'll just say these are definitely the hex hackers. These are the people I've been following. They were meant to take this to a warehouse in the random warehouse district and get it to that printer that we still aren't sure what it does. But that was the goal. I couldn't pinpoint the exact location of the random warehouse, but it's
I'd say with you narrowed it down enough, like you can, yeah, you've got a good idea.
it's on this particular block.
There you go. I don't know the name of the block because of who I am as a GM, but yes, that is the information is given.
So I sent Gloria away, so we're gonna have to take the bus or get a lift.
Yeah.
Well, what are we gonna
You
do
guys
with
want to
the-
go get some Taco Bell?
Raven, you do have a portal that can go 8 miles at a time.
I do, but can I bring people?
Yeah.
How many people can I bring?
It's a portal, so
You guys!
if you keep it open, yeah,
I can do cool shit!
You've been the team
Oh,
transport.
sorry,
I thought you knew.
I can do cool stuff!
The car was not the
I
only
knew it
way
would
with
be
the team
me.
transport.
Language.
I knew it would be me.
But yes,
This is
you
so tame.
you can portal.
Yeah, so I just for fun, I do like, you know, master mage portal action, and like Revenant knows this is just for show. Like I absolutely don't need to do this at all.
And
I'm just
I'll roll my eyes when she's doing.
I do too.
I'm just being extra now because I'm all fired up because I got a fancy book. So I'm just being extra. But I will portal us. Come on, let's go. Port us over.
Nice. So after a few portals in a row, and you luckily have easy on your extended portal, so you're not exhausted from doing this.
On the way, I will portal us to a Taco Bell.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
And we can't forget.
A machine was
Listen.
started up.
Yeah.
Amai is hungry, and Amai's been kicking butt. So rewards happen. Taco Bell.
And we also
on
got to
the way.
bring the robot pieces.
Well, we could. I guess we could come back for those. We did switch the thing, but
The
yeah.
autonomous.
How heavy are those pieces? Can we carry them with us?
I could do it with no issues.
Yeah, I guess
I
I
could
can
sell-
just lift it. I can't really think about anything else. So yeah, I guess there's just this floating box coming through these portals with us.
You see portals appear, a weird group of people walk through, and then a giant box floats behind them, and then another portal opens up, and the same thing happens. It's the weirdest day for a lot of people around here.
Love it.
Sit on the box as I eat
What
my
is this?
chorba.
They're like, what is this? Yeah,
Cool,
so
cool.
after
We'll
a
land on
quick
the
stop-
roof with the box because I don't want anybody to find the box. So leave the box on the roof of some random building next
All
door.
right. You have brought the box. I'm going to do a little rolling over here. But what's your plan? During the attack I faced, my dice fled for the hills. Okay. Shameful, but I'm using a roller because I literally can't find my
Also, Taco Bell, this could use some sponsorship. I'm just saying.
Yes, they're watching. Always.
I'm just saying.
So how do you all live Moss? No, how do you plan on attacking or getting into this warehouse and doing stuff? What's the plan of attack or infiltration?
Yeah, I think it would be good to get an idea of how many people are in there. Can you get a sense of how many people are in that building?
Yes. And I will do that.
Nice. Roll a perception check for me.
16.
16. It's fairly all or nothing to find mines. They're either there or they're not, so it would have to be a pretty bad roll to just miss out on them. But yeah, there are, we'll say, 6 mines in here.
I'm gathering that there's 6 people in this building.
All right. Do we want to infiltrate nice and quiet? Take about one at a time? Go in as a group? Take about one at a time? Or do we want to guns blazing? What are we feeling?
Come. After what you've done at the museum, and I start walking forward.
Guns a-blazing it is. I like
Well,
this guy.
You're on the roof, so forward would be like to an
forward and
access
down.
to like an access door. Yeah, I was about to say
Yeah.
there's an access door. We'll say so. Yes, I walk off the roof. Power move.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I teleport us to the side of the access door.
okay, that's. I mean, yeah,
Why not?
That works.
vibe. That's the vibe. So you're through the door. It looks really funny because like there's this much space between the two sides of the portal. It's literally on one side of the door and then the other. So you walk through, and you're going downstairs. It's kind of like harsh light in here. It's very like the tubes of light. This is an older warehouse, but you can hear like generators humming pretty loudly, and people shuffling about below. It's only like. It's one story, but the roof is high and there's like catwalks above it. It looks like this was some kind of like distribution center or something at some point before it was displaced to be a warehouse for villains one day. Probably not designed for it, but that's where it ended up. And you are in. How quietly are you trying to move about? A
I'm
lot of
being
you now
quiet. I'm
in the
flying.
staircase.
Yeah, I'm flying and shield up and all that kind of stuff. Trying to stealth it. But I'm not really trying too hard.
as well.
Okie doke. We
Do
got
we see anybody?
shadows and stuff.
We don't see anybody yet.
Not immediately, not at the top of the stairs.
I guess I'm walking in, but I am sneaking and trying to be pretty stealthy.
Okay. I will get stealth checks from everybody. Everybody. With the concealment, you have like a +5.
I'm not very stealthy. I rolled a 7.
So we get a +5 on top.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, okay.
I
Well,
rolled
that's
a
good.
14.
Because that gives me a 12.
12. Wow.
Wait, am I adding 5? Is that what you said? Or just
No, you're not. Just
okay.
him.
Yeah.
What was the highest of the group? What did Hellhound? Were you sneaking at all?
No, I am not sneaking.
Well, this makes things easy for me.
I see everybody kind of going off and being stealthy, and I continue to walk forward, and I say, "Hello, hello, are you here?"
And immediately they're here. And you hear shuffling about as people run towards you. And let's get initiatives.
Right.
As a heads up, this will be the final conflict
Okay.
because of time. It might go slightly over 7. If the players are fine with that, it'll go till the end of this combat, basically.
Okay.
16
I got a
for me.
26.
9.
Whatever.
24.
What is your initiative?
Me.
+7.
Oh,
Plus
you're just
6.
rolling great.
Yep. I rolled a 19 again.
Nice.
Okie doke. Sorry, I'm gonna have to go in an order because when I start trying to write and there's like a billion voices, my brain says no to that. So I'll go in the order that I see people. M.A.
Tell me you're neurodivergent without telling me.
24.
M.I. 24. Raven.
16.
16. Revenant.
27 or 26. Sorry.
6. Yep. And Hellhound.
9.
9.
No.
That's not a lot at all. Wasn't that what you had last time?
I had 8 the last time.
Oh, okay. Well, look at that. You're trending in
you-
the right direction at just the right time.
I think it was 8.
You flip flopped us last
Maybe
time.
it was 9.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, yeah.
Okay. And one more. Keep looking for my die, but it's a click of a button for me right now. Of
cat
course,
deacon.
that person is the slowest. Listing them as boo because I'm unhappy about that. So first up, we have Revenant. Before that happens, let me set the stage. Hellhound strides forward, says hello, greeting the opposition. One of them is immediately in his face, runs up, and you see that like it's the normal guy sprinting and running up, and then like when he's a few steps away, he kind of like goes slightly slack, like his muscles seem like they go weak for a little bit and then stiffens up, and his eyes have like those little numbers running across it and green light, as if he's been possessed. And he says, "Oh, how kind of you to bring the parts that I needed to complete my form. That makes things far more convenient."
You don't have the parts.
Yeah.
Brought the box. Oh, that's right. You brought a different box though.
It's
Well, it's not here. Well,
it's not here.
It's on the
It's on a
roof.
different building.
I was about to say it's
It's a different it's a different building on the roof. He still
Revenant.
might know. I don't know.
that is interesting how he knows this.
Do I see the industrial machine thing?
not yet. You'd have to dive a little further into the building to get there,
Oh.
but you do have a lot of movement, so you can
Yeah.
probably do
Can
it.
I want to try to find it. If I
Yeah.
can maneuver.
So yeah, you fly around. It's not going to be like a search because this thing has to be in a fairly centralized location to
Mhm.
find it. You see this, basically this huge printer set up. It looks a lot like a, not a shell. What is the word I'm looking for? Like a cast of the construct you just fought,
Mhm.
but it's got little bits missing from it that looked like they would probably be filled in with the parts that were taken from the They were just going to
Okay.
slot those in.
Um,
Is what it looks like at a glance. But yeah, it's running. You can definitely tell there's like a little there's a little screen that has a digital output of like its percentage. So it's like 20%. Like it's doing the very stereotypical. It's showing you the outline being filled up. So it's like the green is moving up. And there's like two guys standing at that station looking like they're running it. And you see some of the other people moving about.
okay,
It's total
I
people.
will do a burst area damage on it.
Okay.
Do I roll for that one? I don't remember.
You do not.
Okay.
I get to roll a dodge, and then depending on what I get, I can roll for a portion of it
Okay.
or the full thing. So, unfortunately, this thing doesn't dodge because it is a giant stationary machine.
Yeah.
It literally can't do that. It is rather tough, though.
Mhm.
And your blast of it, you can see that it like impacts and kind of shutters different parts of it because this is a pretty intricate machine with a lot of moving parts, but it's solid. And it actually tanks that hit.
Oh, okay then.
Actually, what's the DC 27 for that one as well?
That one is a shadow burst damage is DC 20.
DC 20, yeah. So it
25.
takes the hit.
Sorry.
20.
Actually, there's two on
Yeah,
it?
one is the dodge, and then the other's the toughness that it has.
Oh, okay.
So I have your sheet.
25 burst area, 30 feet, sphere, DC 20.
Yes, it shakes and shudders, but it actually takes the hit completely.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can't destroy this thing easily. Dang it.
You have a feeling it could be worn down. Like it's with how it shook whenever you hit it. Like it seems like a possibility, but you notice that it has not been affected as far as how much it runs.
Did I manage to hit any of the people around it?
That do. Let me roll those dice. Chow. And chow. Okay, one success on the dodge. One for toughness. Got it. Unfortunate. And unfortunate. So these two, if you know how the game works, run by minion rules.
Mm-hmm.
Minions take the worst degree of failure possible. So if they fail at all, it counts as the worst degree. So these two are blasted backwards and now unconscious.
Okay.
So 2 down, but the machine is a running.
Okay. Do I see possibly a power supply going to it?
Yeah, you see several. This thing has like basically 4 generators running it. But there's also the fact that when you did that blast, you saw like a glyph appear around it. This thing is also magically shielded in some way. So it's tech, it's magic, it's a whole thing right now.
Okay. And I forgot to ask this before I started everything. Is how bright is it in here?
Pretty bright, actually. The lights are, yeah.
Okay, so then I don't know how you want to work that in, but that's my weakness.
It is. If anything hits you right now, we'll have some. We'll talk about it.
Okay, cool.
Cool beans. Cool beans. Emma, you're actually next.
Oh. If I use a hero point, can I do 2 things? Is that how that works? No.
Yes. So you can do a thing as a standard action, and then you can do extra effort, and you either get fatigued or you use a hero point to buy that fatigue off on the next turn. So yeah, you can do 2 things.
Am I able to hack into the printer system and just shut it down?
You can tell that you would have to get right up next to it to do so. Like you would need to hook into it, but you don't. There's no reason you couldn't unless the magic fouls up your stuff. But it's worth a shot. It seems doable. With your intelligence and technical know-how, it definitely seems like something that's possible for you.
I was gonna do something funny, but I think I'm gonna be useful instead and just go to the printer and
Nah,
attempt
You
to
can
hack
do
into it.
you can
Too
do
funny.
either one of those things or both.
You can
I
do
mean,
both.
No, I'm gonna go
Okay.
straight to the printer and try to hack into it.
Okay. Yeah.
You
So
do
you're
you. We love chaos.
able to hook up to it. Roll me a technology check. You are now basically in a skill challenge to beat this thing as the timer goes.
Okay, that's gonna be a 27.
7. What happened to your 30s? This is where you need the
I
30s.
started rolling bad.
Perfect. Keep it up. um, so you're connected to it now. You are fully aware of what's being done here. You like now that you see what it's doing. It's basically they've gathered some sort of like supposedly mystical materials like different metals and melted that down to be the filament um, to fill in the parts that are missing from that ancient automaton, and they were trying to house the data that was in the other one that couldn't be housed. They're putting it in this thing, and yeah, so you know what's going on, and you can see the progress happening. You have slowed the progress just a little bit, so it has to roll higher to continue than it did before. So you're kind
Okay.
of like setting up a stopgap for it.
Can I ask a
It's very
question?
CSI counter hacking, where two people are. It's like that. Yes, Raven, you may ask.
Yeah, I know there's a thing where we can like work together on stuff, but like I don't know how that works with initiative and everything. Um, is that something that I could assist this attempt to hack by trying to nullify some of the magic?
Yeah, you can either do that on your turn or hold your turn in initiative to match with MIs and do it together. For this, since it's basically like a skill challenge in the middle of combat, you can be rolling your magic stuff as MI does technology. You can kind of hit it from two different angles if you so wish.
Okay, thank you.
It is, however, not your turn.
Yeah,
But
no,
it's
I just
close.
wanted to
I
ask
was
the
about to say
question
it's
so I
close.
could
I
plan.
thought I say it because I was about to say, oh, it's actually your turn now, but not. It's close. You're up next, so you're on deck. Um, Revenant, there was another person in this room that wasn't quite close enough, and similar to the others, as they kind of like reach and ready themselves to do a blast. This one does something similar. He casts perhaps the most American spell, as he instead pulls out a gun and just fires at Revenant, because that's always an option too.
Yells out Merca.
Wow. So a fun fact that's fun for y'all and not for me is that in this system, minions can't crit against you, which is sad because I just got a natural 20 to shoot. But it is still enough to hit him. Are you in your insubstantial form?
Yes. But I'm
It's
in full
unfortunate.
light,
I
so
was going
that
to say
may
that
not.
is unfortunate because the full light, I will say in this instance, is fouling it up enough. Take a hero point and also make me a toughness save.
I
This
get
isn't
another
the.
hero point?
Yeah, I'll give you one for this.
Oh,
Because all of your effects are going to be messed with right now. I'm
okay. 'Cause
letting you know you are in the being messed with zone currently.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh. That's a toughness? 16.
16.
Yep.
Okay. I will say since the last thing with your traveling, you healed at least one of those bruises, and
Okay.
you just got it back. So don't change your sheet at all.
Oh, okay. That works.
Yeah. So you surprisingly get hit with this
Oh.
as he aims at you, and then his eyes do the digital thing, and he says, "We don't have to act in cross purposes. I know there's still some of you in there. Once upon a time, we did work well together. We had our disagreements. But if you help me, I can help you."
Okay.
All right, that takes us to another one of the hex people. So there are 5 of these guys. But yeah, 2 of them just got taken out, so only 2 left. One fires at Hellhound, the one who ran up and initiated. Fires a bolt of magic at Hellhound. Looking for a guy that I don't have. Does an 8 hit you? I already know the answer.
8?
I already know.
Not quite.
I know the answer. Another one is at the. He's running across one of the catwalks trying to get to the area that you are when he sees MI working that computer and turns, readies the little digital sigil and blasts a bolt of mystic energy their direction. Does 13 hit you? These guys need a higher bonus. is
Me,
when you
how do I
tap.
tell?
So your dodge, whatever's listed as your dodge, plus 10.
And what did you roll?
13 total.
It does not hit.
Okie doke. Of course. I didn't think I had you that shifted where it would have hit, but you know. The blast lands near you, doesn't endanger your computer or anything. It seems like he's being really careful not to hit the machinery around him or around you because, you know, you don't want to get in trouble with the boss for that. And that is 1, 2, 3. That's it for them. They've all done their attacks. And we move next to Raven.
Yeah, so Raven sees that everybody's trying to attack this one little machine down here. So I'm going to go ahead and do a Dispel Magic to try to see if I can at least limit some of the barrier on the machine, the printer or whatever it is.
Okie doke. For this, I'll have it done as just a power check. So roll and add your nullifier.
Okay. And I think I have a +2 or something from somewhere. I don't know. I have something from someone. I know.
Yep, you do.
Let's see. I have.
You do indeed. Yes. Yes. Eight. That time.
Immediately, you see me.
Okay. Roll me a grab check. So you're gonna roll to hit with your normal fighting,
Like unarmed?
and your normal. Let me see. What's your
I want to roll
unarmed?
this dice. No, this one. Okay.
So since this isn't your normal claws and you don't have a special thing for grab,
Mhm.
it's a +6 instead of a +8.
Okay.
This, yeah, you're unarmed, not your horns and claws.
Oh, what is that? You said +6?
Yes,
19.
+6. 19 is actually enough, and he's gonna try to roll to resist your strength rating.
Okay.
So what is your strength?
5.
5. Okay, so what he's trying to get is a 15.
Ooh.
He fails. You're able to grab a hold of him, and you just want to immediately toss him.
Yeah, at something. Like
Okay, like a wall or yeah,
a
just
wall,
like a hit.
boxes, crates,
Okay,
whatever.
so
Yeah.
we'll say you throw him against, and we'll instead of leaving him with the grab condition that he would normally have, he just gets the damage. So
Okay.
that's your strength, which is 5, makes it a DC 20 that he's trying to save against, and he fails. With a
Yes.
thud, he is knocked out. The one of the ones that has fallen from the machine that got blasted kind of like jerks and rises up, puppeted by the data flowing through him, as again he beckons to Revenant. So tedious being spread across all these forms. And it's appropriate that you would be here for my deific defragmentation as I come back together. But I must insist that you stop. Any response from Revenant?
Do the rest of us hear this too?
Yes, it's actually coming from all of these people. They're like linked in with him. LinkedIn. They're linked in with him.
I'm just like, who do you think I am?
I think for his worst student and my most annoying peer, and he reaches up and blasts you with that same necromantic energy from this knocked out person. Ooh, this is gonna be a tight roll though. Does a 21 hit you?
It just that's right. I'm just a 20. Can I use a hero point and use my redirect?
No, unfortunately, you'd have to deceive him first to do that. You'd have to use deception
Oh,
and then make him aim, but that's a possibility for the future. What you want to see what you roll on toughness and use that hero point if you need to re-roll that.
Okay.
Mhm.
We'll do that then.
Okie dokie.
Oh, yeah. I rolled a 10. So we'll do a hero point.
Oh, and add a 10 if what you get is a 10 or lower.
Oh, that wasn't much better, but so 15, 23. Yeah, 23.
23. The energy courses through you again. You get another bruise.
Oh.
He's not getting through a lot, but every hit is chipping away at you. And you see the other one on the ground start stirring. It's almost like the more of these that are getting knocked out, the more he's going to be able to do his attacks potentially.
Oh, great.
As a neat little mechanic. But that does get us back to Revenant.
Oh, okay.
As progress on the machine goes up to, we'll say it's climbing fast. No, it's not because of MI. Let me see how fast it's climbing, actually. It is not climbing fast. It's kind of stalled out in the 30s region.
Okay.
But it's they started it without the little connections that it's supposed to have. So like spaces are being filled in and it's missing those gaps. But you can kind of see like jolts of energy jumping between them instead.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Do I see any of the power sources around the building?
Yeah, you can see like the long like wires and stuff, cords leading up to it.
Can I? Would I know if like my shadow entry would have anything like could actually damage that?
Yeah, I mean your shadows are like blasts of power too at the same time, so you can affect
Okay.
more than just people with it.
I will attack. How many lines of power are to it?
4.
4. I will attack one of the lines of power. Hoping
Okay.
that'll slow it down with less energy.
I will say you can either choose to take 10 on this and just say you rolled a 10 for what you hit, or you can roll, and if you roll a high number, well above the DC 10 that I'll place it at, or not 10, but yeah. If you roll above that, it'll count as a crit instead. So you can either choose to take the safe hit or crit it.
Who wants to be safe?
I'm saying.
In this game of make believe.
Right?
Right? Go big or go home. That is a 24.
24, yeah, that hits and counts as a crit, which means this save is not going to be enough as one of the power sources explodes.
Woohoo!
The device, the lights in here flicker pretty violently, and the screen is flashing, the one that it's trying to print this thing.
And can I do the where I attack again? I forgot what it's called.
Extra effort?
Yeah,
Sure.
that's it. Extra effort. And attack the one that was attacking MI.
Yeah,
Oh, right.
on the catwalk.
That is it's not great. 16.
16 is actually enough to hit his dodge.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, he's out as well. He
Okay.
slams against the side of the catwalk, doesn't go over. It looks like he might for a second, and he slumps the other way. So not a instant fatality for sure.
Okay, I know you see hero point to get rid of the fatigue.
Okay.
I have a lot of them, so you know.
Exactly. Okay, so leaves not many of them left. That goes to MI.
I'm going to continue to work on this printer, and I'm going to use 5. What are these called? Circumstance
5
bonus
circumstance
points
bonus.
from
Gotcha.
Alexander Wrights that were given to me. So I guess I'll add that to my roll.
Okie doke. Yep.
Cool. And just a tech roll.
Yep.
That was very good. All right, hold on. Let me do some maths. 35 plus 5. That was a 40.
Oh,
Jeez.
what?
Nat 19 plus 16 plus 5. Thank you, Alexander Wrights.
Okay. Yeah, so the machines hum with the flickering power and everything. It just comes to a stop. Yeah. There is there's like a hum as the machine is like slowly shutting down, like you hear it powering down. The filament stops pumping from the tubes that were going into it, and it kind of just shuts down. The 3 other power sources were like trying to make up for the other one anyway, and once it's not working on anything anymore, this thing just it has shut down at this point.
Yeah, I started grinning, and like for the first time in my life, I feel happiness.
For the first time ever. And the drone guy, the one who had risen up, turns and looks, and he still doesn't like betray any expression or anything. But you have to know deep down that he's upset about this. And he turns to Revenant and says, "This will not be the last you see of me. Eventually, maybe I'll get you to wake up as well." And he whispers, not whispers, you can all hear this through the thing. He says, "We're not the only 2 of Malador's apprentices out there." And slumps down. As do the rest that had the digital effect going on. They all kind of lose their power immediately, and you can see by their expressions that they are not in the mood to fight any superheroes without having superpowers of their own, the fight has left them. What do you do to them or with them?
How many of them are there?
Conscious, there's now just the one left, I think. So catwalk guy, those two. Yeah, there's one standing.
I'll just real quick gonna do mystic bindings on that one that's standing. Just to
He goes to run
keep him
immediately,
still.
and then the bindings just grab him, lock him down.
You just
Yeah,
watch
he
him
knows-
fall face first.
It's more like he would fall, but like it's these mystic chains that like lock him to the ground. So instead, he's like, you know, doing a Michael Jackson-esque lean that he's kind of stuck in.
Yeah, and then I think I want to call. I forgot his name already. Salai or what's his name?
Sala.
Saw.
Sala. I'm gonna call Sala and be like, all right, come clean up your mess.
And with the power of speeding through things. Oh, does anyone else have anything they want to do? He's about to show up. Like I'll fast forward to that, but if
Were these the people who were all texting and in like the chat that I was
that's what it
watching?
seems like. Yeah, not
I
all
feel
of
like-
them. Some of them
I
are
feel like-
elsewhere in the world, but yeah.
Emma wants to go collect their phones, and she has the mindset that she's going to spend the next several days not leaving her room because she's just going to be going through all of these chats, figuring out, learning more information.
Nice. Okay, cool. I like that. That's good for a coda at the end. Sala shows up.
As we're walking
after-
out too, before Sala gets there, as we're walking out, I'm gonna just walk over to MI and be like, "Nice job. You're welcome to come super with us anytime."
If you ever need me again, just send an email to Sala.
I feel like
Spyware
you're gonna fix
is
that.
real.
Yeah, I feel like you're gonna fix that. So we might need to find another way, but I feel like you'll figure out how to let me know how to find you.
I will.
And with that, Sala gets there. He mentions that he had some time to go through the one journal that they collected. They do find the other journal that Hellhound is supposed to bring back to his employer. And yeah, he says like it appears that this Lovelace was attempting to find immortality. He was kind of in a race with a fellow pupil. That's what it said, another disciple. And he eventually gave up on his automaton as he was seeking to jump into that body and chose instead to inhabit a form of information himself. He turned himself into a glyph. I hate to make the comparison, but he was kind of the first QR code. And at some point, he was scanned into a computer and began manifesting, from what I can tell. That's what I was able to learn going through his stuff and the information MI was so kind as to share with me. I guess during this adventure, I got a message explaining a lot of stuff, and yeah, putting two and two together, I got that, but I don't know who he was like working under. And he makes mention to more than one like student with him.
Yeah, and he thinks I'm one of them.
Cocks his head. You see, roll an insight check.
Yeah, I actually just wrote on my paper, Revenant is a fellow student? Question mark.
Yeah, insight check from the two magic people. So Revenant, if you want to do, actually, Hellhound, go ahead and you can do a perception or
that's a
insight
good
check as
roll.
well.
I
Yeah.
rolled a 19.
Uh-oh.
What did you say? Insight?
Insight.
19.
Oh, double 19.
32.
Oh, geez.
So
I rolled really well and have good insight.
Revenant, you see that there's like a brief moment of recognition where like Sala looks at you, and then like his eyes kind of just widen ever so slightly, like as he's looking at your face. And Hellhound, you catch this as well. Raven, you get that it's not just a look of recognition, but like genuine terror for just a split second, and then he hides it. Um, and you can see him like kind of trying to connect some dots and like filing something away for later.
Yeah, I'll look and I'll be like, what was that?
You don't. Your own powers, are they mysterious to you? You know what they are.
Yeah, as far as I know, they just started manifesting when I was a child.
See. I have some theories, but I need to go cross-reference some materials back at the sanctum.
Yeah, I feel like this is a conversation best had over time and tea.
Yes. Please keep me
My
informed on that one.
my two favorite things. And that is where we will leave off, except for a brief coda that a player has kindly set up for me. In that we cut to in MI's lovely basement, which I guess is probably fairly cluttered. Or what does the basement look like, real quick?
Yeah, it's small. I am renting out someone's basement. This one room is my entire life. It's pretty messy. There's like fast food cups on the floor, and it's pretty much just a bed with a few blankets and pillows without cases. But the most impressive, like 5 screen computer setup that you've ever seen.
Of course, of course.
Hmm.
Can I, before you do this too, can I just throw in? This is after we would have left. We would have done some investigation to find out where they lived, and a very large sum of money would have arrived with just a picture of the book that we retrieved. Nothing else, just a picture of the book
Man,
and a large sum of money.
I would probably move.
I was about to say, I would say probably outside of the purview of what you could do, finding her is or yeah, finding them would be a monumental task. That'll be a maybe. I might have you
Yeah,
roll some
it
stuff
might
in
have
the
taken me a
aftermath.
long time, but at some point, that's my intent. Is that
I was about to say, we'll
you
have
tell
it as
me when
something
that
you're
happens.
trying to do.
Yeah,
Okay, I like that. So yeah, you the phone's all set up and you're hooked up to a bunch of different things, trying to get every scrap of information you can about this group of people. When one of the phones, like you've mostly taken them all apart. This one you've just put back together again. Like you've gone all through them. The screen lights up, and a voice comes through. Um, it's quiet at first, and then you hear like the hum, like it does almost like a click to make sure that you're like listening. And it wanted to know more. You simply could have asked directly. We'll cut off there. Everyone who played gets a PowerPoint. We are ending there, setting up. No. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, that might not have come through. So what the voice said on there, it popped up and said, if you wanted to know more, you could have asked directly. And it's the same voice that came out of the construct and everything else. There's probably a bit of that
Whoa.
thing left in there. But yeah, this was Superhero Origins, setting up some stuff, letting you know a little bit of the magical community, also a little tease at some stuff going on with our pal Revenant. Um, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to diving into that and also his relationship with Raven and all the characters as we go into 2025 and play. The heroes who played in this get a hero point, or not a hero point, a power point, which is what the system uses to progress your characters. And yeah, we're going to end it there. Let me get everyone to introduce themselves. So they'll each get an outro. We'll start with, let's go reverse order, our special guest today, Taz. where can we find you?
Cool. I'm Taz. You can find me on my socials at Reader and Rogue. I play almost every Monday on the New Age Geeks channel as Clover Hexcomb on Forging Fates, and my next guest appearance is on Saturday, January 4th on the Game Master Monday channel, and I am very excited about that. So keep an eye out for more details.
All right, and Shannon.
Me. Oh, it's me. Hi, I'm Shannon.
Yep.
I thought I was just going last this time. I am Imagine If pretty much everywhere online. And I have a Twitch and YouTube channel, Imagine If Media, where we support all those who create, play, and heal. And you can find me on there on Monday night with Jordan from Goose Poop Games, as we're doing a Goose Poops Creator Coop with Casper, the MB Ghost, on there as well. We're going to be going into some game design and stuff like that. But if you go to my link tree that I'm sure Kate has already put into the chat, you can find out where everything is happening. So it was a pleasure. Thank you all. And thanks everybody in the chat for hanging out with us tonight.
Yes, thank you so much. I've already messed up the order because I realized things shifted on my screen. So let's just go to Jackie next because I've messed everything up already.
No worries. Hey, I'm Jackie, and next time you'll catch me is on the next episode of Superhero Shenanigans. I hope you'll join us. Thanks again to audience for being with us, and just a wonderful time with our guest Taz. And you're going to see more of Raven and more of Revenant in the next episode, I think.
I believe so. And Grant,
On
what
Saturday,
you got for us?
I think.
Yes, I will announce.
I'm Grant. You can catch me at Meredith on all the socials. It was really fun to hang out with everybody, get to talk. I'm kind of new to the whole live streaming world, so it's super fun though. So if anybody wants to invite me to theirs, feel free. I'm pretty open. And that it was a blast. Thanks again, Curly. It was so much fun.
Yeah, of course. Happy to run. I have been your GM for today. I am found mostly on threads at CurlyInsaneGuy_. I'm also occasionally on Blue Sky. I am on Instagram very, very, very rarely. And I am so happy to be GMing on this channel. Quick reminder for the winners of the giveaway earlier, check your Twitch whispers or reach out on our Discord for the PDF codes. And for show announcements, for the show, we've got Familiar's Quandary D&D one-shot on Tuesday, December 17th at 7 p.m. Eastern. The next Superhero Origins is actually December 21st, next Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern, so same time as this one. And Superhero Shenanigans is coming in 2025. Thank you to Green Ronin Publishing for providing the PDFs for the giveaways and for making this game that I really, really like. Please stick around as we raid into another channel, and thank you so much for being here. And remember, there are always more stories to tell.
And thank you, Kate, for running tech.
Thank you, Kate, for running tech. You're the best.
Thanks, everybody.